Good evening everybody, welcome to my Sunday night stream. Let's go straight on over. We just got Oreo's legs there at the moment. I need to adjust the camera. Good evening one and all, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a lovely week. Thank you very much Spirit Wolf coming in there with your sub just before we started. Thank you very much. So let's start with a whole load of emotes for you. Thank you very much for your support. And we also have Darkwing, Snackham, Saxon Girl, Metcat, Jangles, Mozatov, and Mushy all here. Thank you very much for stopping by. And Fozzy, thank you all for stopping by. Hope you're having a lovely Sunday so far. I hope your weekend has been good. Lots of gold making, hopefully. So it's going to be an interesting one this week. We're going to go through the Wowhead blog as usual. So this week's we're going to talk about resetting markets and Jesse D's amazing achievement of getting our whole 100 million gold. And then we're going to talk about a little bit, few extra sort of like extra things that have happened throughout the week. I did see your new website, Mozatov, that you just posted up today. Sadly, it wasn't enough in time to go to the Wowhead blog, but we'll talk about that a bit later. I hope you're doing well, Mozatov. Good to see you here, nonetheless. Pac Mako, good evening to you. Happy Sunday. Hope you're doing well. We don't see the macro I have with the pickpocket and opening move. Or I can do that one for you, certainly, Saxon Girl. We'll go through that in a moment. Actually, I can probably do that quite easily. We'll swap over now. With Samadan's kind of stuck in the middle of Dalaran at the moment. So we'll just move on out a little bit. There we go. Looking splendid as always. It's still in beta at the moment. Okay, so maybe wait till you release more content before the limelight. Okay, Mozatov, no problem. Know something with more lag fests in Borealis and Stormwind and other major cities. The sales of the auctioneer items of the garrison picked up. Interesting. Yeah, lag can be a real problem sometimes. Andaliath, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And Jeannie. And Trax, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Can't stay for long as you're raiding for since a long time, but wish you all a wonderful evening. Well, thank you very much, Trax. Good to have you here, even if it's briefly. Zimpao, good afternoon to you. Still at work, but the phone works great with earplugs. Oh, fantastic. Well, even lurking while working is more than welcome, so it's good to have you here. We'll have a look at, let me just get the Wowhead site up just so that we can make sure that that's ready for when it goes live, which it literally has just gone live. So we'll go over and adjust the command for that. There we go, that's that, and then we'll go and we'll talk through the Wowhead blog as normal for a Sunday. We'll go through here. Let me just adjust the command so that is up to date. Commands, Wowhead, edit that. Paste that one, submit that, and then if we go back over here, the Wowhead blog has just gone live, so let's go have a look at that, and we'll talk through that first and foremost, and then we'll go through and do a little bit of gold making and check out everything, and then remind me again, Saxon Girl, if I don't show the macro. Actually, I'll do that now before we get into anything else. Otherwise, I know I'll forget. So let me just jump over onto another character. Can't quite jump off here. There we go. And let's go over here and just quickly jump out. Log out. We'll go into Samadan. Have a quick look. And then I can show you the macro that I use for that. There we go. Click that. Click that. Let's got that on. There we go. You see 5+ questions about their groups of operations for BFA. I'll be linking yours and mentioning a beta stage and own risk like I do when linking all other people's stuff. That's fair enough. There we go, so that's that. Go to use parts yourself. Well, it's always good. I love seeing new stuff coming in like this. It's very interesting to see new tools that people have lovingly crafted, so we'll definitely have a look at that one. And Chagrinto, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So quickly have a look at the macro for pickpocketing. So my macro for pickpocketing is which one is it? It's when I'm stealthed, so let's just go stealth. It's this one here, Pickpocket, Ambush, this one here. So the one I have is Show Tooltip Ambush / Cast Pickpocket, Cast Ambush. So that's the one I have for doing an ambush. Okay, we'll do that one and pop that one in there. I think that should work, hopefully. Show Tooltip Ambush, press enter / Cast Pickpocket, press enter again and / Cast Ambush. And then the other one I have here is for Sap, which is pretty much the same, except it does Sap instead. So I'll copy and paste that one in as well. So there's two different options there between sapping and ambush. I'll paste that one in as well. Hopefully that one worked. There we go. Good evening, Rasheen. How are you? And thank you very much for your sub. Wow, 15 months. That's amazing. Thank you very much for your support. Totally appreciated. Let's see, a whole load of emotes for Rasheen. Thank you very much. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. You'll be able to find it easily tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it. It's good to have those things sort of like at the start, so we can see that. I'll just move myself over somewhere at the edge here, and then we'll go over to the Wowhead blog. There we go. They've got that one. Tyler, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. There we go. Did I miss anything else? Just quickly scroll down there. Blatsphere Mayor, thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you here. I just saw that before Rasheen's. And Shadrantico was there. So I'll say hi. Live Boy coming in with some nice emotes there. Thank you very much. Right, let's go have a look at the Wowhead blog for this week and go through everything that we are going to talk about here. So let's move that over here, move that there, move that there. Then I should hopefully move this across. There we go. So this week, what's been going on this week? We have, let's scroll down. So we have a topic of resetting markets, which I know a lot of us have done personally, and some have sort of like questions, sort of like why does the market collapse, and what kind of things you can do to reset. So I'm going to talk a little bit about resetting markets. We're going to talk about big Goblin milestones, Jesse D's amazing 100 million gold milestone from this week. Updates to the Undermine Journal, and whether competing with multi-boxes is actually a thing, whether actually working with multi-boxes is a much better thing, and then talking about easy TSM strings at the end. Creative, hello to you, hope you're doing well, and Bayun, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're all having a lovely weekend so far, and enjoying it either with your family or in World of Warcraft, or both. So, resetting the markets was an interesting topic that came up this week, and Ventursome was asking on Reddit, why does a market collapse after a reset? And it's kind of like all to do with supply and demand, and I'm not an expert on economics, but Dave Blaze came up with a really nice analogy in the thread talking about restaurants selling cheeseburgers. Like if all restaurants tried to sell cheeseburgers for $100 each, people will stop buying them because they're too expensive. Restaurants like selling food and become frustrated with the lack of sales, so they will lower their prices to promote sales. When the cheeseburgers are at a price customers are comfortable paying, they will start buying them again. So this is a case of something like selling enchants, whether they're too expensive or and people will get them from elsewhere, or they'll just won't be able to afford them. I mean, obviously, as Rasheen knows, sometimes you can sell things for a very high price, which happens all the time. Markets on your realms. Derpalicious, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. It has a lot of bull with the profit. Well, yes, because profit isn't necessarily profit. We'll get onto that one later, though. And good evening, John. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Reset market because you post them at the same price the person bought them to encourage them to buy more. After is it because you post them at the same price the person bought them before to encourage them to buy more. After a reset because you post them the same price the person bought them before to encourage them to buy more. Oh right, so you want to make them keep on buying them. I see. Yeah, that also works as well. And Blingtron, thank you very much for the sub. That's very kind of you. Welcome aboard. Hope you're doing well. Heaven or hell, both. If they want to hold the resets, they have to buy more. That's fair enough. And then you can, that's a good way of sort of testing. For every mean whisper, you post 10% lower. I mean, that's fair enough. If you've got the stock to do that, that is definitely a good tactic to make sure it all gets sold. As long as you're making a profit, I can see that's fair game, certainly. But in sort of like the regular circumstances, I think a lot of people are trying to just push the price up so that it's at least profitable for them, because you never know what's kind of like in terms of like supply and demand. You don't know what someone's material costs are and what's their supply and how much stock it is they've got. When the guy's trying to reset the market, whisper you saying you have no honour. Well, I hardly think it's a matter of honour, certainly. You put a price on your time exactly as you buy and farm. And One Bro Guy, thank you very much. 20 months. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for your continued support. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much. So 1 hour costs 50,000. Yeah, it was funny though. Yeah, definitely. I can imagine. So I thought I'd look a little bit further into sort of the resets of markets. A market that I personally am quite familiar with is the enchant market on Shadowsong. And so I thought we'd look at sort of like the two main ring sellers, Haste and Critical Strike, and look at them over the past 6 months of the Undermine Journal. If you slightly ignore what's going on at the right here, because that's more to do with the 8.3 coming out. But you can see here some definite spikes as the market's been reset from like 800 to just over 2,000 there, and then a steady decline as it's gone back down to you can see this line kind of like all along the base here is more sort of like in line with the average, slightly lower than the server average you can see here, but then occasionally being spiked up higher in an attempt to reset it. And it coincides quite a lot with a Critical Strike at the same time, because usually if you're going to reset one, you reset the other. Since watching my videos on TSM and reading about suggestions to check out my stream on Wowhead Economy, you've gone from 30,000 to 5 million in 24 days. Wow, that's amazing, Blingtron. Absolutely amazing. Congratulations. You bought your longbow yesterday, and it would not have been possible without you or your subscribers. Well, that's fantastic, Blingtron. Lovely to hear a success story. Let's have a load of Brutasaurs in the chat for you. Congratulations. You have only people write to me in languages you don't understand. That's fair. Usually respond, if you want to insult me and you want me to know it, you should write in English. That's fair enough. But if people don't do that, yeah, the market will collapse. If the reset is way too high, set the higher percentage over market value, the harder it usually crashes. Yeah, so if it goes like, if it's ridiculously high, then it will probably drop quite rapidly, because a lot of people, they won't necessarily, that might not be within their boundaries of TSM, and so their max price may be quite a bit lower than that, so a really sort of crazy reset wouldn't work in that case, certainly. Tarot, thank you very much for the follow. That's a very good time frame, definitely, yeah. Good evening, Gwynn. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Good to have you here. Onyx Panther mount sells for 155 on your server, but the red, yellow, blue and green Panther sells for 55,000 each. Are people bad at math? I don't know. It all depends on sort of like popularity, I guess, for some of them. Camping the auction house is good gold. That's certainly true. You're on Wormrest Accord. Okay, that sounds like one of the busier servers, certainly. But that's an amazing achievement, certainly, in that time frame. So that's fantastic. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, okay, so what feeds into the enchants? Well, obviously it's Veiled Crystals, Umbra Shards and Gloom Dust. So looking at the prices of those, Umbra Shards is quite strange. It's been quite high for quite a while and then seems to settle to a more normal price. But you can see there's little spikes here and there as people have tried to reset the markets. But with these, because they're such a common material, you don't see the reset sort of like lasting for any length of time, and so they're just more kind of like mini spikes throughout. And then obviously the thing that feeds into the price of veiled crystals, umbra shards and gloom dust is through the shuffle and tie spray linen. And then looking at the spikes here, you can see there's a few very big spikes, but like Rashim was saying, if you go too high, it'll crash down back to its normal price quite readily, because it just can't be held for that long. And obviously something like tie spray, which can be quite easily farmed, you're going to see it settle down to a fairly normal price here, which matches quite a lot with the server average, the green one here. What do I do in the case when TSM does not recognise professional items crafting cost to make and does not let you post for crafting costs? So I would look into why TSM isn't looking at the crafting cost. There could be some material as part of that doesn't have a price assigned to it, or the price is incorrect or invalid. So look at what's feeding into that crafting cost, and then you can usually fix it that way. It might be something like Expulsum, or it might be something that you have to put a manual price on. Sometimes when there's been a patch update, TSM will forget what the vendor prices of some items are, and so you have to go and just visit a vendor and load up the window in TSM, and then it will readjust all the prices again. So it could be something like that. Crafting a single Panthers isn't 55,000. If anything, the prices of crafted Panthers went down a lot on most realms due to the Spirit of Harmony bots we had for quite a while now, and the Quillen farm, which also brings overflow of cheap Spirit of Harmony. Yeah, that's one of the things I have noticed with the Pandaria stuff. Now that we've got a lot of current content going in this area, a lot of stuff has crashed in price. I've noticed that with Living Steel, certainly. And those items usually contain bind on pickup items. Yeah, exactly. If you need bind on pickup materials, you need to set that as a price, like something like Hydra Core, something like that. You might have to set a manual price. Think about your time, as Mashi was saying earlier, and then go from there, really. Maybe put a manual price in. You're buying a Spirit of Harmony for 30 gold each at the moment. Wow, that is super cheap. Oh, I missed a load of chats here. Let me just scroll through. The release of 8.3 that had a short window to exploit inflated prices of consumables, but definitely has slowed down. Mount Float continues to be one of your best sellers. Oh, fantastic. There we go, good on that. Just quickly go through that. And, okay, I'll just carry on through and carry on finishing off this part of the article. If I do miss anything in chat, do shout out. So I was looking at all the things that fed into the enchants, but then thinking about supply and demand. Why are people buying these rings? And so I then thought, okay, well, in terms of like, why would someone upgrade their gear? Well, simply because 8.3 has been released, and we have a whole list of new rings available now, which is why you can see these crazy spikes around here, especially here and here, since 8.3 has been released. But then a regular during the week, you've got the world quests, you've got the weekly chests, and just general people upgrading their gear over time. So people will, the great thing about enchants, people will always be feeding into it. But obviously with 8.3 coming out, there's obviously a bigger spike here, which is why you can see the prices on my server certainly have increased dramatically. And I could do with relisting mine up at another point, actually, as Moshi was saying just before stream, but we'll get into that later once I finish the blog. You have a question about old mats, but it'll take too long in here. You'll send me a message this week on Twitter. No worries, Impal. I'm happy to answer any questions if you do have them during the week, either on Twitter or email or through my Discord. Any of those will work. Rabbit Beef, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm very good, thank you very much. How about yourself? We just got Oreo Toes here at the moment. He's not quite in frame. The Sky Golems only go for 8k. Wow, that's very cheap. What does the instant price is? That will go. Okay, we got that. Go through. Marsberg, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. That's weird that you don't buy anything. Is it weird that you do not buy anything that you can farm? Not necessarily, no. A lot of people prefer to farm their own materials, certainly. Or is being precious in the cat camera. He is indeed Sawcast. I need to move over a little bit actually. There we go. So we can at least see a little bit of Oreo. There we go, that's a bit better. And RMC, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. You buy what's cheaper than your time. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Like you were saying earlier about managing your price of your time. For me, the simple volumes that I need everything at, it just would take me too long to go and farm it. So for me, I just end up buying it myself. My time is invaluable, exactly. Doing good, just ultra lazy gold making today. No worries. That's what we're here for. Just casually hanging out, making some gold on the side, hopefully. There is only 12 hours in a day, so if you need 400 veil crystals, exactly. There's 24. Yeah, exactly. It depends how much of that is spent awake, I guess. My foot's just going into cramp, though, so please excuse me for a minute. Foxy Smalls, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. If you can buy it, you don't farm it. If you can't buy it, you ignore it. Rasheen never sleeps. 143,000 WoW token on US. Wow, that's brilliant. Keep going, definitely. I don't know what it is like on EU at the moment. Has it dropped again below 200,000? That would be nice. So, yeah, we're talking about resetting markets and then everything that fed into it. So it's all a question of supply and demand. So I thought that was a good example of showing how, when resetting a market, obviously the main thing to know, I want to know, is your timing and whether you can buy things out when they start being listed again, like Rasheen was doing, and whether you think the market can hold a higher price, or whether the trends for things and the materials leading into them, maybe it's not the time to reset them, and you've got to make sure you've got enough gold to do it as well. Sleep, what is that you speak of? Job, spouse, kids, etc. Yeah, but sleep is important. I tried not sleeping for a while. It didn't work out very well. Power naps do help, that's for sure, certainly. Looks like Oreo's disappeared for the moment to eat, so I'm just going to turn his camera off. There we go. And then we'll turn it back on when it comes back. There we go. So the other question that led into this from the resetting the markets was undercutting, and why do people undercut? Rasheen gave a very good example there of just literally using that as a mechanism to sell even more at that price for someone who's trying to push through the market. And so if you've got an excess stock, you can feed as much as you can to them and make sure that they buy it all up. RMC, hope I'm doing well as well. Your question, what should you make with blacksmithing to make gold? First time doing this, want to get the long boy. Well, my first thought would be the current content, Uncanny gear, and probably the weapons, I think, blacksmithing. I've not got a blacksmith myself personally, so I don't know for sure, so I can't speak from first-hand experience, but that's what I know. And then things like the mount equipment, I think it's, is it monol hardened hoof plates? You can do with Enchanting, they require something. That might work. Sometimes streams like the weekly rally of gold makers. It does look like that, definitely. The spurs, that's it, that's what I was thinking of. No problem, RMC, and if anyone else in chat does have any other suggestions for blacksmithing, please do shout out in chat. It's a profession I would like to get into, certainly. I think there are certainly some opportunities there. I'll obviously think I've missed it with the Uncanny gear, but you know, you never know for the next few months. That's another good point, actually. Are you also a miner? That's a good one. Adriana, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Well, now, WoW token is $20 US. If it takes 4 hours to make an item, $7.25 US is minimum wage, so everything should be selling for 2 WoW tokens, if you ask me. That's an interesting idea, but the thing is, it's how much fun do you have at that minimum wage job, and how much fun do you have making gold? I don't always compare it to real life money because this is my hobby time. Yes, I could certainly earn a lot more money if I was to be working, but that's not necessarily fun for me. Go to your auction house, check the price of Enchanted Elementium bars. They're currently on high demand, and most rounds at a good profit. Excellent. Good idea there, Rasheen. Should have just called into work for a month straight and done nothing but level alts whilst Revenge was going. Leveling now is not fun again. That's true, actually. I need to level up my my Death Knight, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. There we go. I think we should be back in. There we go. Okay, one moment. I shall just load back in. Do apologise there, everyone. It looks like my internet fell over. Let's see if we can come back in and load this back on up, and then we'll be with you. One moment. Apologies for that, everyone. We are back, just loading back in World of Warcraft. Good evening, Right One too. Hope you're doing well. Right, we are here and here. There we go. And let's just go in as Samadan, I think. Hava, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. And Stephen All, thank you very much for using your Prime for 5 months. Thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. Very kind of you. There we go. I think we're alright. Apologies if I missed anything in chat during that little internet outage. There we go. Let's just move on over here and then move that there. And then we can go and bring up the Wowhead blog again. And then carry on through that. There we go. Interesting Rose, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Blamed Oreo for the drop. Yeah, he's disappeared. He's actually... you can't quite see him, but he's right behind me. This little dark smudge in the corner. Oreo's gone onto the sofa behind me. You know you can't pay internet with Game Gold. See what happens. I know. I had to put some more gold coins in the meter just to pay for my internet. But we should be back online. We just had a little internet droppage there, Rose. We should be back in action, hopefully. There we go. Wait, Oreo's on the sofa. That's Cookie territory. It is. He's kind of in the middle of where Cookie normally goes. So I don't think Cookie's going to come down tonight, though. So I think Oreo should be safe. What he does like, though, is we've got some fleece on the sofa. And that's what Oreo really likes to snuggle up against. So where were we before I rudely interrupted everyone with disappearing? So we're talking about different reasons why someone might not deliberately crash a market, but might set the price lower if you're trying to reset the price higher. And so there could be a whole number of different reasons depending on how someone else values their time or their money, or what their own perception is, what the market price is. And so it could be a whole lot of different reasons, really. And that one could also be lack of knowledge as well. Or they could have their TSM set up so that your new reset price could be higher than their max price, and they're just posting it at max price. The whole load of different reasons they went through here. Happiest Fun Rock, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Cookie will disappear, quite possibly. I don't tend to have Cookie around at the moment. She's usually snuggled upstairs, but this was a big milestone. I'm sure many of you saw this, Jesse D getting the amazing milestone of 100 million gold, which I thought was a fantastic target, one I've not currently going for myself, but it's amazing to see someone's reach that kind of capital of liquid gold. And what was really interesting in the Twitter feed when I saw this was there was a lot of really good sort of Q&A questions of people asking, you know, how did you do it, what did you do, and things like that. You always spend your gold, reinvest. That's amazing discipline. Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of gold. You had 2,000 cooking items that you sniped for basically nothing last Tuesday, but after being undercut and reposting constantly for 1 hour and only selling 2 stacks, you gave up and posted it all for like a third of the price. It did sell, but and got it out of your hair. So yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing we were talking about earlier, Drizzling Rose, with how sort of sometimes you just want to get rid of it, certainly. To have a hard job with 4 Netherweave bags. Yeah, true. I don't know, you think number one goal should be profit. In terms of, like, do you mean in terms of reinvesting, Maraxis? LFD1351, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. But there were quite a few different things that came out of this in terms of, like, having goals, what's kept you going, goals, milestones, day-to-day excitement of opening the mailbox. Obviously, that's the motivation side of things. How many servers were they on? 8, one main one, and then 7 for just flipping. Any advice for people is diversity. And then you can also supplement your sales with raw gold from raids, world quest mission tables. And then any other tips were sort of start with some raw gold from world quests, mission tables and old raids, and then use TSM obviously, and then current content crafting and or gathering. And then as your gold balance grows, you can branch out into old world crafts, transmog farming, flipping. So many ways to weight gold, just set on what works for you and you find fun. That is the obvious big one that I always say, is definitely make sure it's fun. Both to reinvest. Yeah, reinvesting is a good way. I know Bregvids does this quite a lot with turning his gold into more gold. I mean, just collecting it for gold's sake is still a fun thing to do, just seeing that number go up, certainly. And then make sure you're having fun, and have to be willing to invest and take risks was another thing there. And then another one here, flipping is by far the most time efficient and can also be extremely profitable. Current content crafts are also really good, but take a bit of time to set up. And then there's the scrapper, which obviously we all love the scrapper here. You like to buy big toys, you always spend a bit now and then. Yeah, I always kind of, I'll either buy things like Shadowlands or Warcraft 3, or my own sub-time is what I tend to spend my gold on at the moment. Love is a bit of a strong word. Good evening, Sensors. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. And then what add-ons to use? TSM, Alcoholic, and Buy 'em All and Easy Scrap. Obviously, all good ones there. So thank you, Jesse D, for sharing your knowledge. And I look forward to seeing what other kind of goals other people have. Is anyone else aiming for 100,000 gold? Certainly hope in Shadowlands there won't be a scrapper or anything like it. I agree, Snacken. I think I guess it's a bit like the Obliterum stuff in Legion, so maybe it's not going to go away, but yeah, it's a bit of a pain, certainly. You're super lazy, but the Sunday streams always make you feel motivated. No problems. I'm glad you're at least semi-motivated, happiest. It's such a massive time sink. Yes, definitely it is. There'll be something like it, yeah. I've got a feeling there probably will, I imagine. NA tokens down to 143, yeah, I know they are. We were saying earlier, and I think the EU ones are certainly quite a bit lower as well. So that was amazing, I thought, that milestone. And then moving on, I talked about the Undermine Journal has a new column in it saying profit. Now, I think this is based off of from a Reddit post that Lycam did a Chrome extension, just basically taking the materials that fed into something like an enchant and then working out what the profit would be on that. And so it's not completely accurate profit, but it does give you an idea. It doesn't take into account things like the Bracer Shuffle or the proc from Alchemy. I was going to say the S word, but I didn't. And then how you might get hold of those materials at a cheaper price for various professions. So it's more of a guideline more than anything else. I don't think it takes into account the inscription procs either. There we go, Census. I was going to say it, but I didn't. We actually, when we do get to Awakening, I've had such a dry period. I did yesterday actually get my first one for the entire week, and so I was busy making stuff yesterday, but unfortunately I got called away. So when we go over to Awakening, I've got about 4 minutes left on my buff, and I need to go and make some potions and get them posted as soon as possible, hopefully. But we'll get to that later. We'll just run through this. So this is interesting to at least see on the Undermine Journal and just sort of gauge what kind of profits you might potentially get for a profession if you were to take the current market value of materials. What have I missed with the S word? I was going to go and get it. We were talking about the Silas proc for alchemy. Sorry, I did say it, Rasheen and Sensors, but it's basically the bane of our lives in terms of random number. You can't craft unless you have it, really. He said it, I know. You saved me letting you cook. It's a must-have for alchemy, but the random number on getting the prosperity is ridiculous. It is. It's quite frustrating, definitely. It was alive for 3 whole weeks, and you finally got one. Wow, that is 3 weeks is a big one. I've gone all week without it, and it was tough, definitely. So if I had 1 million gold to invest, what would I do with it? For 1 million gold, I would use it to set up professions, and I would invest it into getting as many professions up to the right skill level for me, because then that investment will then reap more rewards over time, I think. I wish you could sell the big love rocket, not quite a mount collector, but it dropped for you yesterday, so you wanted to sell it, but no, that would be interesting. I'm sure it wouldn't be quite as rare as it is now if that wasn't the case, though. Tricky Con, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Zin'anthid for 80 gold each, and being lazy, you won't farm. I mean, 80 gold is a pretty nice price if you're going to go and farm some, certainly. I know Zin'anthid has gone up in price a fair amount on Shadow Song as well. So moving on, there was another topic here, and someone was asking about competing with multi-boxes, and they saw someone flying around with 10 other characters, and they were kind of like worried about competing with the market. And the general consensus, which I certainly talk about, I'm not a multi-boxer myself, but I'm fully in support of multi-boxing in terms of how much it adds to the economy. And you don't necessarily compete with multi-boxers, you work with them, you buy their materials, and you use them to make your own things. And if you're worried about competing at price, you simply just post at different times. They won't be on there 24/7, so there'll always be niches. So it was kind of interesting sort of like take on the sort of the general perception of multi-boxers. I know it's not always favourable, so it was nice to at least get some positive responses out there, certainly. You love multi-boxers, you buy their cheap stuff and make your stuff cheaper. Exactly, Deb. That was the general sentiment, certainly. You've been fishing with your trio box accounts today. Whilst doing time walking on your main account, you made 9k on each of the accounts, whilst getting 2 characters from 110 to 120. Very nice, Dressing Rose, very nice indeed. Multi-boxing is healthy for the market, exactly. It really adds to the pool of what's available to everyone, certainly. That's fine for people who have a good bankroll, but it's hard on people starting out. Not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to buy huge amounts of these things. We're not talking about sort of like buying things in bulk, but certainly being able to buy things at a reasonable price to then be able to turn that into something else. Whether you're starting out or whether you're fully established, it certainly it gives you opportunity, certainly. Each time walking dungeon gives about a level. That's pretty good going, actually, from a level 1 perspective, actually. Oh, you mean for people who are using gathering professions? Again, yes, it depends on your timing of posting. It's not necessarily quantities, especially with the sort of the last in, first out system. It doesn't matter whether you've got 10 or 100 or 1,000 of an item you're putting on. If you're the last person on and someone else wants to buy it, then your sale will come through. Old herbs have a good sale rate, and still they're much more expensive than current content herbs. Yep, that is true. Choose your farm, something multi-boxers don't farm. And if you want to do current content, do skinning. those are all good options as well, as Rasheen said. Certainly. So I don't think it's necessarily prevents people when they're starting out. Okay, so, and the last thing on my topics was a new website that came out last week, was the price string editor by Tranchy. And it's just a really nice way of just being able to type in a TSM string and being able to see sort of like the brackets and the different sort of custom sources you can use, and it's all in a very sort of nice visual way that you can then copy and paste into your TSM. I thought it was a really nice little tool, and it's got a whole load of reference for all the different functions as well. So if you are learning TSM, I'd highly recommend checking this out, just for a nice easy way for writing strings and then copying them into TSM. I thought that was really good, so well worth sharing. But the website itself kind of is self-explanatory, so I don't really need to go into it more here than just giving you the link here that's on here. So if you are interested in anything on the Wowhead blog, please do go onto the blog and leave a comment, and I look forward to hearing everything we've covered this week, and looking forward to any other ideas you have for future content. Please do let me know. What did I mess up there? Well, it reminds you have a nice skinning story. Last Wednesday there was a world quest for Najatar killing snapdragons. So you went there with your skinner and skinned all the mobs people killed for the quest. You got skin and meat, so you made 15,000 gold in an hour and a half just being a scavenger. That's fantastic, Tristan Rose. I remember doing the same in Classic when I started, and everyone was doing all the killing the wolves and things like that, and I literally just ran around after everyone with my skinner and picked everything up. What did I miss there? Not sure if enchants from Wad are selling. They should be, definitely. Sorcerer's Air reagent for... oh, okay, you put that through. Okay, thank you, Rasheen, for that one. Next update, hope make something where you can select options. I hope make something where you can select options and the website makes a string. That could be interesting, Darkwing, definitely. Any plans to go back to Classic, or is there too much to do on retail? At the moment, Thomas, there is literally just too much for me to do in retail. I would love to go back to Classic if I had more time and I could do it like a specific day or something like that and just go spend that as a Classic day. I'd love to, but simply because there's so much I want to do with all my characters, and I'm still not there with professions, and I know Shadowlands Alpha's probably around the corner, so there's going to be loads of new stuff to look into as well. So it's kind of like one of those things, I have to balance my time somewhere, and unfortunately Classic just couldn't fit in with everything else. The middleman, good evening to you, hope you're doing well. You make Sorcerer's Air faster as a byproduct than use them for bag making. That's fair enough. I get a fair amount myself. I don't really use it a lot, but at least I have some when I need it, certainly. So, shall we go into and have a look at where my gold making's at the moment for this week? I think that pretty much wraps up everything with the Wowhead blog. So, thank you all who bared with me whilst I went through then. So, thank you all. Will Webster, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. And Del Kupu, also thank you for the follow. And Afemusu, I think I've got that. I've terribly butchered your name. I do apologise, but thank you also for the follow. So where are we at the moment? Let's have a look. So we are currently on Samadan here, and let's go have a look at what I've done week-wise gold making. We need to get some enchants on and make sure those are all sorted. So let's start with that and see what kind of sales we might possibly get. I'll just move over here so that people can still use the auction house over here. And let's get a bit closer. There we go. So in terms of mail, where are we at? I've got a few expires here. So a lot of stuff has expired actually. So I'll need to relist everything on. We've got a fair amount of bag space, which is good. So let's go through and deal with those first. Get our expires back on. Dragonfly Garden, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So main thing here is to make sure we've got everything out of the mailbox and back on the auction house. Looks like a fair amount has expired. So we'll just deal with everything here so far. That's all of that lot, so we'll get that posted on as quick as possible. Let's move this lot over and go to auctioning and run a post scan. Fair few different bits and pieces here, a few uncanny bits. Still having some good sales on enchants at the moment. So you're soon hopefully going to be into open world farming. What add-on do people usually set for their loot timers? I don't know in terms of like a timer as such. Does Loot Appraiser have its own timer inside it? Or just from using using the clock, I guess. I just keep an eye on the time as a sort of like a general guide really, but I guess that's another option. Found you on my Twitter feed as though you're a WoW player, so figured we'd drop a follow. Well, thank you very much, Dragonfly Garden. Good to have you here. We're just currently going through and posting all my auctions on at the moment. You could set up a week aura maybe. I want an automated thing that shouts at me to loot so as things don't disappear. Oh, right, I see. In terms of like, once you've looted something to say, okay, 2 minutes have gone, now go and loot everything. You use DBM Pizza Timer. Okay. Capilafthor, how are you? Back to your original name. Good to have you here. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. How about yourself? Alright, we're just going through and we're going to post everything on first. We can deal with all of our expires first. So we'll get rid of all of those, then maybe see if there's any cancel scans we need to do on any enchants. See if we need to restock on anything. I imagine there's probably a few different things once we've gone through everything here. So let's carry on. We've got some good gold coming in here, currently at 106,000. So we've got some buys there. Auction expired there. That seems to have gone anyway. So let's go back to the list on that. So that looks like all my gold at the moment for the week. 106,000. We've got, what have we got here? Enchant gloves, ring, biltong, fusaka, some sales of that. Lightstep hoof plates, Culteran mining, baked potato, big mech, hexweave bag. Quite cheap there though, at 854. Some uncanny pants of the harmonious. That's quite good. And we've also got some uncanny cloak. I was really surprised actually. I've been selling quite a few uncanny cloaks. I was expecting with the whole upgrades of everyone that the cloaks wouldn't sell that much, but they do seem to be selling, which is pretty good. And what else have we got? More enchants. Another hexweave bag there for 800. Force multiplier, been selling quite a lot of those, and so that's been quite good. So very nice, 106,000. Let's take all of that and then post the rest of our stuff on. In the end of BFA, could you make an Excel graph showing how much you made every patch and through the whole expansion? That would be an interesting one actually. I would certainly like to go through that. I haven't done a end of January summary, so I need to incorporate that in with an end of February summary, but it would be nice to go through the whole expansion. I really didn't get into gold making until halfway through Legion though, so I'm not sure how I can compare Legion with BFA, but it'll be worth having a look at certainly. I don't know if I've got data for Legion actually, thinking about it. I think I wiped everything at BFA level, unfortunately. So let's post everything up here, but that could be something we could do moving forward, certainly. You got into gold making in the middle of September, exactly. Catch you from Fizz later. Gonna head to bed. Got an immense headache, so don't feel too well. Oh, sorry to hear about that, second. Hope you feel better soon, and hope to see you again soon as well. good night, and I hope you feel better. You need to be somewhat geared to even do the legendary cloak quest line, so that's why the 400 cloaks sell well. Yeah, that's a good point actually, because yeah, it's quite tough to get into doing all the stuff for the cloak. I know even Samadan, my main, who's only eye level 400, I think, is struggling with one part of it. I haven't even done it all. That's how far behind I am. So let's post all of this lot on. I guess the good thing about cloak sales is, as a tailor, it's not restricted just to cloth wearers. It's any character, which is why I'm probably getting more sales of that over anything else. I did have that with Notorious gear and Sinister gear as well. The cloaks usually sell better. Also boost the eye level of the World Quest items to get your eye level up. Yeah, that's another good point. So any fresh new 120 is going to want stuff like that, certainly. So that's all of that. That's everything posted on. Is there anything that is close to finishing? Anyway, let's have a quick look at a cancel scan of my enchants, just in case. Let's go for at least the good stuff. And the weapons and those. Let's just run a quick cancel scan on those, because the prices are really good at the moment for enchants. So I might as well try and capitalise on these as much as possible. It does take a little while to cancel the scans, but it's not too bad with just a few items. So get rid of those and post those back on. All of those will be good, and then run a post scan with those. Still in the intro quest for 8.3, lost interest in it really. I guess if you're not really looking for that end content, then there's no real reason to do it. Read a guide about the visions before you do them, and use the research table. You forgot and wasted precious time. Doubt you'll even do them. I'm not sure. I've got so much to do with everything else. I'm not sure whether I'm going to get into them or not. It's kind of a weird one. 8-Bit Workshop, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. So let's just do a quick check shopping wise. We're currently sat at a very respectable 845,000 on Samadan. So I think we could probably have a look at some prices of materials to buy. Tie spray linen has spiked again at 8 gold, so I won't be buying any of that anytime soon. Coarse leather and shimmer scale is both really high as well, so we'll ignore that for now. My mat cost for shimmer scale is actually ridiculously cheap at 3 gold 62, so that might be throwing off my my price string, considering my mat cost for tide spray is 4 gold 28. I'll have to have a look at that. But it's alright for the moment. We're still well within parameters, so I think we should be fine. We just need to go and have a look and restock on anything here. So let's have a quick look here. Now before I do that, I've got this leftover list that I was in the middle of doing on Awakening with what was left over of my Silas buff. So what I'm going to do is go over to Awakening and finish this off, because I might want to make the use of those last precious 4 minutes. So let's go back over and jump onto Awakening and then see what we can do here. Leftovers on Silas. I know I was determined to do the full 10 minutes, but I got called away halfway through, so this was my best option, is to save it for when I was next on stream, and so I could just focus on getting these last things done. So excuse me if I just focus on getting these crafted as soon as we're done, because we are at 3 minutes left. So let's see if I can craft some of these. I'm not going to have to jump over to the regular option. Endless Fathoms and Currents I really want to make. So Endless Fathoms, let's try and get 50 of these done. And then the Currents, let's try and get 50 of those done. It's slightly quicker doing it through here as well. I just want to make the most of this as possible. You don't need a cloak for more than eye level. So you do the bare minimum visions. Leftovers. Yeah, I made a roaster earlier, and so I've got at least 3 meals left over from that. I'm looking forward to having over this week. Right, so we're slightly jumping off piste here, so Currents and Endless Fathoms are the two main ones I want to focus on here. So Endless Fathoms I'm currently doing, and then we'll jump into Currents and do 50 of them at least. Let's try 60, that might work. Let's see what happens here. Flame Skulls, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. We're currently just rushing through what we can here, and then I'll do 60 of these. That should keep me going for the moment. I wonder if we can convince Shatner to yell Silas instead of Khan. That could work. We just get the full-on camera into the camera and go, Silas! That should kind of work. Is that Biscuit? Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So we're just going to do currents, and then let's have a look what else we need. Probably 40 Lightfoot potions we'll jump into next. So where's the Lightfoot potions? We can do 63 here. I'll just do the 40 though. I've only got 30 seconds left though. So let's, fingers crossed, we'll be alright with a few of these. Just press craft all. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to at this point with the 20 seconds left. We'll just go through. Currents done. Craft all, Lightfoot. And then I'll just press escape as soon as that's done. At least I've made a whole load of potions. No time to type. Exactly. Just craft everything. Craft all the things. That's the problem. Oh, we've used up this buff now. There we go, we're done. So let's just check, see if we can get another one. That would be nice if we can. No, it's continuous curing. So that's no luck. But we are in a good position now to at least have a few potions that we have been able to make in that time. I wasn't fully efficient with it, obviously, because I split it halfway between. But we can at least post on... We could probably do with just posting on everything I've got at the moment. See what kind of things I can sell. Should have a reasonable amount of things here. Obviously, I spent a whole load of gold. I did have a lot more gold than this, and I spent a lot of it on buying Zin'anthid. That was the main thing here. Continuous curing does nothing for your nerves. Demand a refund. Exactly. Is Silas unique? So only one in the bags at a time. Yes, it is unique. It all depends on the... but the buff you can have left over from a previous session. So let's just go over whilst we're here and check the mail, actually, whilst we're in Stormwind. You could probably do with harthing back to, not the Golden Lantern. Let's go, probably go to Boralis, but let's use this mailbox whilst we're here. And we'll just pick up everything gold-wise here. So we do have some expires. We'll deal with those. So we did have some last sales throughout the week, 84,000, but nowhere near as much as the week before, simply because we didn't have enough potions this week. So we at least got one proc, so that's good at least. So we'll make use of that, post everything on, and then see if we can get some sales throughout the week, hopefully. At least got some though. I'll check back in. Where are we at? Exactly at just after 8 o'clock. So let's try in another hour and we can come back to this. So let's just get myself over to... I guess Dalaran's probably a better place to go. So let's just head on over to there. We'll do that next. Time to get some lunch and fight some moles that you have dug tunnels in the yard. Have a great week. You too, Rabbi Beef. Good to have you here. Have a great rest of your week, certainly, and thank you for stopping by. Alright, let's move over here, and let's go over here. And then we can log out here, ready for checking in later. Let me just actually check on the price of Zin'anthid before we log off, because it was reasonable earlier. Not as reasonable as it used to be, but I may need to restock on a few things here. We've got 212,000. 500,000 in auction value, So things we need here. Zin'anthid is actually a reasonable price at 45 gold. So that's dropped again. My mat cost is currently telling me 52 based on my smart averages. I have 1,500 left, so I could probably do with buying some more of these. So 45 gold, and then it goes up to 48 gold, so there's 2,600. How much would that cost? 120,000. That's probably more than I want to spend just at the moment. Let's try 1,000 for 74. 1,600 for 74. That could be a good start for the moment. I don't want to use up all my gold. And then my other things that I'm running low on. Siren's Pollen. Sea Stalk we're running low on. I need to buy some of that. At 8 gold we could probably just do with buying maybe 500 of that. That will do for now. Anchorweed we have plenty of at the moment. 1,300. Winter's Kiss. And Star Moss we seem to be okay. Sand Shifter we're also okay in. So everything else is okay in terms of stock quantity. Zin'anthid's the main one really at the moment that I need to have a look out for. So I am tempted to maybe... That Zin'anthid's nearly... Actually, that Zin'anthid's all gone now. That's interesting. Someone's bought that already. So that's at least got me some. That's a good start. So let's take that. And then that. And then we're ready for next time, hopefully. So let's jump back to Samadan and check his restocks and what we need to do on that front. And then we can see what we can do in terms of making some gold here. So enchants, food, and a little bit of tailoring are the main things we've got going on with Samadan, which is all fairly good, fairly steady at the moment. In terms of restocks, let's just have a look. We can clear this queue now. We don't need that. Let's just check my auctions first. So TSM has seen everything. We've actually just sold a whole load of stuff. A load of baked potato and abyssal fried risole. So we're going to have to restock on those, certainly. So Dina, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. You're tempted to get Zanzilari Alchemy on your Alchemist and then farm the herbs with your box team for 100% profits. But it's intimidating to start a new profession. It can be, but I would say if you're gonna do it, it's now's a good time to do it, certainly. So looking at that, what are we going to need to restock on? Let's have a look at my groups. Restock. So we've got a few enchants, some more hoof plates, some more cooking. I might have to up the amount I cook on these because they do seem to sell quite well. I don't think I've got enough hexweave cloth here, so I'd have to go over to my garrison to pick some up there. We just sold Silkweave Satchel. Now, that's nice to sell it for 398, but if you remember, I did actually buy a whole load of these at a much higher price, so these are actually a loss for me, but I'm glad to actually be getting rid of these now. That was a reset that didn't work for me. Trying to push the price of those higher just certainly didn't work out. I tried to do that for 2 druids for a Zin'anthid farm, but it kept bugging. Oh, okay. Can you do that easily, or you just click one by one? I guess the hotkey thing should work. Working fine for you. You figured out how to do shift plus key this week, and so amazing. Oh, okay. That sounds pretty cool. So, in terms of what do I need to gather for this lot, let's have a look. Cooking, we need a few bits and pieces. Veiled crystals, we need 4 of. So that should be easy to do just in a self-contained way. Let's open up the task list for this lot. So, hexweave cloth, we could probably just craft one now with our cooldown. And then some stuff from the vendor. We'll borrow your vendor as you're here. We'll take that. And we will buy the wildflower, fusaka and all that. And then we need some aromatic fish oil, 16 of those. Now I should have some leftover fish in the guild bank that I can make use of here. Let's just go and have a look. And we'll move this one over. Herbs and fish. I've got a load of slimy mackerel here that have a Now, an average purchase price of 22 gold, so that's actually quite expensive in terms of turning into aromatic fish oil. What is the actual price of aromatic fish oil? Let's have a look. But as I've got the stock and I don't know what else I'm going to use it for, then that may be a good use of it anyway. You just put the mouse on the other windows, have an ultra wide monitor so you don't need to jump monitor edge to see it. Oh, okay. Easy Gaming, how can I get my matte cost strings to keep up my average prices better? You bought so much herbs that half the current cost last patch, and it's taken forever TSM average price to catch up. You bought so much herbs, half the current cost last patch, and it's taken forever. So it depends. How many of that do you have left, Izzy Gaming? Are you using smart averages? Have you turned that on? Because TSM will use, if you go into your settings here and go into accounting, and this is checked for me, use smart average for purchase price. And smart average is basically, it will take into account the number of the items you have left in your bags and your bank, and it will use the price of that many items that you last bought them at. That might help you with your averages. You have your druid on your main screen, you go to herb, and a second druid on the follow can't land on the ground and keep saying you are flying. I have that problem just as one character, so I can't imagine the difficulties you might have with multiples. If you got the answer for that one, Drizzling Rose. Let's have a look at what are we looking for? Aromatic fish oil, that's it. So let's do a quick aromatic fish oil is currently sitting at 17 gold at the moment. So are there any fish that are cheaper than that at the moment, and do I have any on me? So let's have a look. Let's turn that off. Enchanting, let's turn that down. Fishing, let's have a look for this and do a shopping scan on that. And these look to be very expensive fish at the moment. Look at all of those, definitely. Mr. Nightsense, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. You need a multi-boxer add-on like HotKeyNet or ISBoxer. Okay, that should work. You control your WSD and then you bound Z to sit so it lands the ults who follow, and you bound their X to jump so they can take off after the herb is taken. Oh, okay, so Z, sit, X. I can see how that could work. Yeah, definitely. So in terms of this, fish is definitely expensive. I mean, the slimy mackerel I've got for 22 gold is my cheapest, although Turrigard perch I've got an average buy price of 13 gold and 7 gold for Great Sea Catfish. So let me just check what I've got left in the guild bank in terms of fish. It would seem to me a good use of the fish that's just left here in my bank that I'm not using up to actually, even though it's more expensive, I've got some Great Sea Catfish here. I'm going to use some of this up. As I've got some, I'm going to take a stack of that. As my average buy price of that is so much cheaper at 7 gold 71, I'm going to convert a whole load of these into aromatic fish oil. That should be the easiest way to go through that. Sanso, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Ever since like 2 weeks ago, prices have gone really haywire. Yeah, since 8.3's come out, prices have really gone a bit crazy, certainly. Imagine the smell of the kill bank. Yeah, can you imagine all this fish just hanging around in there? I feel for the delicious chocolate cake that I've still got here from a year ago. I swear that's going to be really mouldy. All this chocolate cake here that's been sitting here for a year, and I'm going to bring it out at Children's Week and try and sell it again. So that's going to be a good one. Your realm fish prices are a dream. You're on average of 3 to 5 gold. Yeah, I mean, if you are into fishing and you want to come to Shadowsong, by all means come on over. I'm sure there'll be a market for it. Okay, so we've got that, and we need to make ourselves some veiled crystals, so let's make ourselves some wands. I've got a little bit of expulsum left, so I'm actually just going to make myself 4 honourable combatants sorcerer scepters and disenchant these for the veiled crystals, because I've got an excess of umbra shards still. And so I'll do that and then bring up that and then just disenchant these, as I only need a few. I also need to buy some mono hardened hoof plates so I can make my... I also need some rubbery flank as well, actually. So let's borrow this auction house at the moment and scan for those. How many mono hardened hoof plates are there? My mat cost is 160, so this is 189. This is a good thing to buy from a blacksmith. Obviously there's some up here at 497,000, which I'm not going to buy. I might be tempted to buy a few of these out, because I have been selling them. I'm going to buy 10, I think, for the moment. And then rubbery flank is pretty expensive on my server, but that's still a profit for me, even at this. So I'm going to go and buy these, buy the maximum of those, and then I'm going to buy all of these, 114 of those as well. That should keep me in the food market for a little while, at least. There we go. Those poor kids. What are people doing the spare farm for? Just for the feasts. Which ones? Oh, what have we just sold? Pact to Critical Strike for 800 gold. Well, that's good. Well, Molf, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Good evening to you. There's pocket time magic in WoW. The Nightborn uses fast time pockets in their wine stores. I can imagine Bank works out the other way. Yeah, something like that. It's just a time dimensional port, really, isn't it? So where are we at in terms of everything we need to gather? We need to pick this up from the mailbox, and then we need to go over to our garrison. Let's deal with all of those, and we can close that one down. Oh, the year-old cake. Oh yeah, that should be. Hopefully that shouldn't be too mouldy. Hopefully. The cake, they use it for the achievement for what a long strange year it has been, or something like that, I think. Well, More, thank you very much for using your Prime. 10 months, amazing. Thank you very much for your continued support. Thank you very much indeed. That's amazing. Thank you very much. You've been trying to set up an operation to search for items that are on the auction house below the vendor sell price. I can't seem to get it to work. We have a moment. Can you talk about that? So vendor sell, I use this quite a lot in Classic, so it should just be a shopping operation for vendor sell. So you need to put the items in there. Let's say, for example, you didn't have items in there and you used the default one. I mean, you could use TSM has its own, actually. Let me just go over here. You don't actually need an operation for it. You could look for a vendor search here. There's a button specifically for it. So if you click on vendor search, and TSM will scan through and see if there's anything that's below vendor sell price, and you can possibly buy that. Like, for example, these wave caller fists have a vendor sell price of 60 gold, and they're here for 1 gold 39. So if I buy that, and then this Mossgill perch has a vendor sell price of 6 silver, and it's being sold for 5 silver. Or the Scarlet Diamond is 3.49, so that's only a copper difference, that one. But it's definitely worth getting that one single one there. That worked out quite well. Let me just buy that one up. Wave Caller Fists. Let's pick that up. And then let's go and sell that straight away. Wave Caller Fists. And make ourselves a nice 60 gold. There we go. But if you do want to do an operation for it, you can do that. You make an operation and you put whichever items you want in it. Or you could try the base group. I don't tend to use anything in the base group. But let's say we were looking for one here, and we make a new one, and we'll call this new operation vendor sell. Say you wanted a bigger margin rather than 1 copper. Say it was like 1 gold, like that. You could use that. Oops, I didn't press enter. Vendor sell -1 gold, and then in the operation here, you'd do a vendor sell -1 gold as a search operation for shopping. And then you could then go in here, and under the base group, I think you should be able to do a shopping search, run a shopping scan from the base group, and it'll look, oh no, it's including everything else. I think it's got my fish in there, so maybe that won't work, but something like that should work as well. I know it worked in Classic, certainly. And Wurtax and Svet, thank you very much for the follows. And oh, I missed yours, Swanso. Thank you very much for your subscription. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your support. Very much appreciated. I do apologise if I've got your name wrong. But yeah, I don't tend to use the vendor search myself, so I'm going to take that one off my group, because that's going to confuse me if I've got that on there. I'll take that one, vendor sell -1 gold. Take that one off there. There we go. You have a cold room in your house. Oh right, that was magic. Oh, you had bread from... Oh right, I see. You have bread from 3 months ago that didn't mould. That's pretty good going, definitely. Chel D, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. We're currently just going through and restocking on Samadan here. We need to go over to my garrison and pick up some hexweave. Oh, sorry, they needed an auction house. Let me just bring that one back up so they can have an auction house. They looked like they were coming for an auction house. Oh no, they've disappeared now. Okay, let's go and garrison instead. There we go. That should work. Dr. Scorpion, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. And Thrasher768, thank you also for the follow. Did you eat it though, the 3-month-old bread? Yeah, that's a good question. Started selling the Brutal Vendor mats for cooking last Friday. Now you made 3,000 gold from them. It's pretty night for a right click and buy 1 stack on buy them all. Yeah, it's very handy. I certainly sell a few of them myself. Let's take that. We've just sold another pack to Critical Strike. And then we'll take another rush order for the Tailoring Emporium. And might as well pick up a few resources whilst we're here with my scavengers. I'll take those. Let those run through. And then we'll run around here and we'll pick up some more resources, as I haven't been here for a while. And then we'll head on over to our tailoring area, where there should be plenty of hexweave to pick up. It's still alright for sumptuous fur at the moment. There's at least 100 hexweave cloth in there. That's good. So let's restart. Where are you? Oh, you're out here. Let's restart this lot up. 600 sumptuous fur, so that should be fine. And I believe we did pick up a rush work order. There we go. So we'll take those. 2, 3. Take those. Collect those up. Some more hexweave. Might be enough to make 2 bags out of that. That'll be some good profit. And get that ticked off. So how are we doing for hexweave bags now? If we have a look here, we can actually make 2 hexweave bags. That's really good. So let's have a look at our list of things we need to make. Let's go over to here. Everything gathering wise is done now. We can add this, another hexweave bag into there. So let's start off with the Cultiran Herbalism, Torrent of Elements, Light Step Hoof Plates, a Cord of Critical Strike, 2 packs of Hastes, And then we'll jump over to cooking, make sure Pierre's here, make some biltong, McDowell's Big Mac, Abyssal Fried Risole, and a baked potato. And then 2 hexweave bags. And that is Samadan pretty much restocked. So we'll post all of that lot on. He's going to make some toast now. He made it in French toast yesterday. French toast is very nice. Haven't had that in a long while. Okay, so let's select all our groups and run a post scan. Get that lot up. Biltong is still a good profit, even though that rubbery flank is expensive. Light step hoof plates are coming in at a good 1,000 profit, so they're really good. Hexweave bags, not a... well, crafting cost is tiny. 182 gold, so 600 gold profit on those. The Big Macs are about a 4 gold profit, so that's not as great. But we'll keep them on. That should be fine. Let's try maple syrup with French toast. It's a jam. That does sound nice, actually. Put toast soup salad in this week's menu, I guess. You'd find the brand for those roasts that would last me a year. That would be handy. Although I'm not sure how well they would last, certainly. Crunch peanut butter on toast with Marmite is delicious, and your new thing. Oh, very nice. Right, so let's head back to Dalaran, I think. And then we're done with Samadan. And then we can jump through the other characters and make sure everything there is set up. Then we can have a look at Samadan's inscription. See how we're doing with that. We're getting some good sales here. McDowell's Big Mac just went again. 15 gold there. So people are using the... oh, I pressed the wrong button. There we go. How do I post so fast? Mine asks for a confirm after every single item. I'm using the scroll wheel macro when I post, so I have that set up here in TSM. So when I run a post scan, I'll literally run through that. Obviously there's nothing here, and then I will hold control down and keep my mouse off the window, and I'll scroll it up and down, and that will go through and post everything really quickly. So I'll literally in here, if you haven't set up the macro, it's here. You can go to macros and you can use configure scroll wheel. I use the default here with control held down, and up and down in either direction does all my my post, cancels, destroying, crafting, shopping and everything, and that works really well for me. So hopefully that works for you. Was there anything else I was going to post on here? I think I was fine in terms of everything. There we go. Can you farm Zin'anthid anywhere else in Najatar? No, I think it's pretty much exclusive to Najatar arcade, but good question. So let's go over to Earthen, see what kind of sales we've got here. What does that say? For items like Feast and Sanguinated Feast that have a weird component to their craft, like Sanguicell, how do you set the crafting cost? Glad you finally caught me out. Oh, good to have you here, C-Subs. That is as Dark Queen said, you open your crafting professions, go into reports, so you go into your whichever crafting, say leatherworking, crafting reports, and then on materials on this side, and then you can go and search for the particular thing, like say Sanguicell here, and you can make a price in here. I've set mine to be a very high price at the moment, simply because of that's based on the convert price of something else. So for me this doesn't get used, but if you wanted to put a manual price in, you can there. That would work. Do you have a link to the summary spreadsheets I use to break down my purchases, sales by profession? I don't have a link for those particularly, Thor. They tend to be ones I've made up, but if you do want a copy of those, I can certainly make those available. I think you actually asked in was it YouTube? You left a comment asking about them. If it was your comment, I'll respond to that next week, and I'll post a link to one for you. That was an eye-opener. Cancelling takes so long confirming everything. Yep, no problem, Rainy Ferry. I hope that works. Does Uncanny gear still sell? Well, we're just about to find out. Proxiver, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. I hope you had a lovely week. And thank you also for your support. Very much appreciated. Let's see, lots of emotes for Proxiver coming in there. Thank you very much. Have you transferred over to Shadow Song yet? It'd be lovely to have you here. So let's have a look at sales at the moment. What have you missed? We've gone through the Wowhead blog. We're going through all our characters at the moment. We've done Awakening and Samadan's restocks. We're just working on Earthen and his leatherworking now. We have a few expires that we've just dealt with here. We do have we're answering to the Uncanny sales here. So this week I have had sales from a leatherworking point of view. You can see here I've sold Uncanny mail waistguard, leather waistguard, mail treads 3 times, mail gauntlets 4 times, leather gauntlets 4 times, a Uncanny combatant's bow, and another leather leggings there. And then we've sold some actually sold some coarse leather, and we've sold Uncanny leather gauntlets there. So we've had 30,000 in sales on leatherworking, including some Drums of Fury as well. So I would say yes, we are getting some decent sales at the moment. Solara, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Whenever I talk about Earthen, you get a shock because it's pronounced basically identical to your IRL name. Is it really? That's amazing. You need to do dishes. Sounds more fun than Drizzling Omen. Right, okay. Up to 7,000 cards you need to open now, and 3 crafting alts left. Wow, that is a load. Anti-Thriller, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Jack O'Neill, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Good to have you here. So let's have a look. Uncanny sales and everything here. So 30,000. We'll take all of that. Thank you very much. We'll post everything else back on. Oh, Gwilyn, thank you very much. Using your Prime. Wow, 20 months. That's absolutely amazing, Gwilyn. Thank you for your continued support. That is amazing. Have I already made you VIP? I think I have. But if I have not already, let's try that. I'll make sure that's right. It's not come up there, but I think after 20 months, that is definitely VIP territory. I'm pretty sure I had already. Yeah, already a VIP of the channel. I thought I had already, but there we go. But thank you very much, Gwilyn. And Parter coming in with you, Pierre. Very nice, Parter's Pierre. That's fantastic. But thank you, Gwilyn, for your support. Really is appreciated. Thank you very much. And we've started a hype train. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Howlol, for starting the train using your Prime. Thank you for your support. And Bergamo, thank you very much also for the follow. That's incredibly kind of you. No worries. I was pretty sure you were already, Gwilyn, but it was great to have you there nonetheless. Just to make sure. So thank you all. That's absolutely amazing. Starting the hype train. Look at all of that coming through. That's amazing. Thank you. We were currently just restocking on everything on Earth, and so let me just let that start posting of everything we've got there. There we go. Everything, all the emotes coming through. That's fantastic. I love the flipped Samathum's Darkwing. That's pretty cool. Right, we got loads of Uncanny here. We need to do 2 hypes in a row. We're doing very well on the hype trains. I am very much appreciative of all your support. Let's get all of this Uncanny gear posted on, and we probably have to restock on a few things as well. So let's just have a look at my auctions and see if there's anything we need to restock on leatherworking wise. Crafting, groups, restock, just drums and a mail waistguard. Okay, we must have done most of that during the week already. So let's make some drums up. And the waistguard should be fine. We've still got some expulsum left over. I will need to do a whole load more tide spray braces. My expulsum stock is running low, and my veiled crystal stock is running low. So we're going to have to do some more of that during the week, most likely. I won't do it on stream. Oh, Goblin, thank you that's very kind of you. Gifting a sub to Elaith. Thank you very much. That's super kind of you. That's just hitting the hype train. Thank you very much. That is super kind of you. There we go. Thank you very much indeed. Let's see some emotes for everyone. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed this week's wrap up. Very informative. Oh, excellent, Clara. I'm glad you found it useful. I did put a bit extra time in making that one. I thought I wanted to go a little bit deeper into the resetting of the markets, and there's some really good information in there. So with that posted, with that made rather, we now need to post it. Let me just double check. Hopefully that should be already in my list. Let's run a post scan on that. No, the Uncanny gear hasn't appeared, so that means it's not in our list at the moment. So we'll have to go in and add that to our list of Uncanny gear. So Uncanny selling. Let's add in those extra ones there. Oh, we've got some stuff we need to scrap here actually. So we'll do that now whilst we're here. A few extra braces I had left over. There we go, that's coming in at 2,700. And then we'll go over and we'll just scrap the few braces I have on me at the moment. There's only a few here, so it won't take me too long. There we go, and just get that going. Gonna ride my motorcycle. Gorgeous weather, very nice. Mazel tov. I hope you have a really nice ride, and as they say, ride safely, drive safe. And Pack Mako, thank you very much for your sub as well. That's very kind of you. Thank you for your support, really is appreciated. Thank you for keeping the hype train going. Thank you very much indeed. Seriously thinking about transferring over to Shadowsong just to have someone to play with, as you've never been in a guild so far. Oh right, Proxiver. Well, I can't say how much in terms of there are people playing on Shadowsong actively. I mean, when I'm on Shadowsong, it's usually when I'm on stream or recording videos. So my availability is usually rather limited. Well, it's very kind of you, Pac Micah. Thank you very much indeed. But there are several of us here. I know Midnight Hawk Gaming is on here, and plenty of other people I am sure would be happy to join in. I think there's a few fairly active casual guilds here on Shadowsong, so it'd be worth having a look at them and seeing which ones are worth it. Oh wow, Jesse, coming in with your Twitch Prime, thank you very much. Can't stick around, just wanted to pop in, say hi, and thank you for the shout out in the Wowhead blog. No problem, Jesse D. It was lovely to have your informative responses on the Twitter post, and congratulations again on your 100 million gold. That's absolutely amazing. So congratulations to you, and thank you also for coming in with your Prime. That's really kind of you. So thank you very much. Super kind of you. But before I go, thank you very much, Mazel Tov. That's amazing. Thank you very much indeed. Keeping the train going. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. It is amazing, everyone, for all your support. So, big shout out to you all. You are all lovely people. Thank you very much indeed. So with those done and that's done, we've got a little bit of expulsum that we can send. That's tide spray over to Samadan perhaps, but we'll leave that for the moment. IG Night. How can I get Epicurean's Award in addition to Dalaran and Stormwind dailies and waterlogged recipes? So those are the main ones really, the Dalaran and Stormwind dailies. That should get you about 3 a day, and so it'll take you about a month to get about the 100 Epicurean awards you need for the chef's hat. I think you can possibly get one from every major city, but I believe when I did it, I was only doing it in Stormwind and Old Dalaran. Definitely. wow. Zimpao, thank you very much. That's super kind of you. A long boy hoodie. Why not? Everyone needs one. That's amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. I don't really have many merch sales, so thank you for that. That's incredibly kind of you. What was that from Will earlier? Thick Shadow Song is a dream for farmers on your limited time there. Yeah, definitely good for farmers, certainly. Our prices are lovely. 100 million, now do that on Classic. Oh, I wouldn't want to do that on Classic, certainly, at that one. Easiest way to buy cooking bags from Wrath of the Lich King, Time Walking vendor. It's just 2 weeks on EU servers. Oh yes, I'd forgot about the Time Walking dressing rights. That's a good point, actually. Well remembered. Prices for all mats, both old and new, are extremely generous compared to the likes of Argentine and Tyramel, which you was on before. Yeah, as Will says, if you are into farming, then Shadow Song is certainly healthy when it comes to prices. That might be something I would look into doing if I had a team of characters, certainly maybe 4, something modest like that. I would certainly consider it. Talkman, you got your long boy today, in part thanks to me and my TSM guys. Well, in greater part to you. Congratulations to you in getting that. That's absolutely amazing, Talkman. Absolutely fantastic. So thank you. Oh, Proxiva coming straight in there with 10 subs. Wow, that is super kind of you, Proxiva, and taking the hype train to new heights. Thank you very much indeed. That's super kind of you for gifting all those subs. If you were one of the people who got a sub off Proxiva, please do throw some emotes in the chat. But thank you very much, Proxiva. That's super kind of you, and keeping the hype train going. That's absolutely amazing. That's very, very kind of you. Let's throw a bit of everything in there. And congratulations, Dogman, on getting your Brutosaur. That's absolutely amazing. There we go. Poor Oreo's going to be all tired out now. He's still over behind me, just in the corner there. Oh, another 10. Oh wow, you're super generous, Proxiva. It is absolutely amazing. Thank you. Again, another 10. Just had to reach 250. I mean, 250 is an incredibly huge number. So thank you. That is just amazing. Final level. Keep the hype going until the clock runs out. That is just super amazing. Thank you. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much. Let's see. More and more emotes for everyone. Thank you. I've never seen so many. It's absolutely amazing. That's brilliant. Stream dying of Oreo alerts. Last time this happened, we just had literally Oreo just spinning around. He got so tired out last time. So thank you very much indeed. It is never expected, but certainly appreciated. So whilst that's going through, I'll just quickly swap out characters and we'll have a look at Almorty, who's not been having a huge number of sales at the moment. Or he's going to sleep well tonight. He certainly will. He's already got himself nestled up behind me. So in terms of Almorty, he's mainly been focusing on living steel. But what with 8.3 and everyone being in Pandaria for quite a lot, the prices have kind of dropped a fair amount. We're still making the odd sale of Panther gem ingredients, materials every now and again. Bowles, how many was last time? It was 100. It was crazy numbers, Rose, last time. Oreo was just spinning for a whole hour. No one deserves it more than you, good sir. I am thankful for being able to watch your stream and receiving all your advice from all of you. Well, that's super, super kind of you, Proxiva. Most appreciated. Clayton, how are you? Thank you very much, Proxima, for the gift sub. Indeed, Proxima has been very, very kind so far. Had your first Panther mount sale today. Oh, fantastic, C-subs. I've never tried making them myself, so I haven't got dual crafting yet, but it is something I would like to get into, certainly. Rather than just selling the gems to supply them, it'll be nice to actually do the Panthers themselves. We have a very limited selection of alchemy stuff we're doing here. We do make a modest amount of gold, although I did buy a load of Spirit of Harmony, but since then the price has crashed even further, so I haven't been buying any more at this stage. I'm just kind of like leaving it at the moment, because I have a whole load of 2,300 Spirits of Harmony left still, so I've got this large stock with a mat cost of 69 gold, currently sitting at 106 gold min buyout, so we are still at a decent price at the moment. We'll have to just wait for a while though. I'm just going to leave that as it is. Did I actually post those on? Let me just check. I'm not sure I did. Let me just jump back and have a look. It's been reposted for about a week though. I was wondering if you had made a mistake. It does take a while sometimes with the mounts, because I guess the thing with mount sales is once someone's got one, they don't need it again for that account. Never dared to do another 100. Last time it disrupted the stream too much. Oh, I know, it was a lovely disruption nonetheless, Proxima, so it was super kind. There we go, look at that. Level train hypes, level 5 hype train unlocked. Thank you very much, everyone. Getting level 5, that is super kind of you. Thank you very much indeed. I think I did post everything. Yeah, it looks like I did. There we go. Thank you everyone who participated in that. Super kind of you. That's absolutely amazing. Emotes are going out to everyone. Congratulations. Every time a sale is removing someone from the market. Yes, exactly, with mounts. That's the main problem with them compared to something like enchants or potions or things like that. There we go. We got some more. You got that one from last week. Even better. Fantastic. Right. So let's carry on through the characters at the moment. Let's go over to Samadan, who is currently actually, I think, my highest eye level character. Let me just delete that off. There we go. There we go. Now tell me, I have 2,131 Oreos. What are those for again? Those are for... oh, Zerafina, coming in for 3 months with your Prime. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed for your support. Very kind of you. Hope you're doing well. The Oreos are basically, you can redeem them for either highlighting a message, like Capalathor has just done, or you can use them to modify some of the existing emotes. You can cash them in for something like that. Poor people like you can use them to make the things. Exactly. You can trade them in for emotes themselves. But it's a new way of just kind of like that Twitch have introduced for adding a currency for everyone's channel, basically. Or saving like you to dominate the market. Exactly. Although if you were to look at my screen, I have an infinite number of Oreos on my little counter on the side, so it's kind of like an unfair advantage. Right, where are we? We are hiding, that was it. Let's go check our mail, see where we're at. There we go, let's just jump out of that. Let's go up to the top. And then find ourselves a mailbox and see if we actually had any inscription sales this week. Plus they taste really good. Exactly, Rainy Very. They are very tasty indeed. So we have some expires to be expected. We have some Tide Spray that we're going to make into Expulsum. We are selling some War Scrolls of Battle Shout, which is really nice. That's 2,600 gold there. So we're now up to, we've got 4,800 gold. We have a little bit of Tide Spray here we need to go and just process into some Expulsum, so that we've got some of that for making a few things. And then we've got a few other bits and pieces here. Some of these I might want to ignore. Some of these I might want to scrap. Oh no, some of these are expires of things. Let's get those posted on first. That's what's confusing that lot. Some of this Transmog may or may not sell. I'm very much doubtful that it will sell, but we're posting it on nonetheless. It's quite expensive to post on, considering our limited funds, so it's probably not the best use of our time. We're better off gold, but we're better off posting our contracts and things like that, if we can get a sale out of those. There's still a few things I need to do on Inscription, mainly setting the price correctly for all my sort of my inks and things like that. But I was going to save that for a video, because what I've been doing is all my leveling up all the way to 175 with Inscription, I've kind of compiled. I did a video right at the very beginning, and then I've compiled everything that I've done on stream up to this point, and then I'm going to put it all together into one long video. It's coming in at about 2 hours long at the moment though, so I'm not sure whether to try and cut that down shorter, or whether to post that up. It's just kind of like one sort of almost stream length video of me leveling up Inscription and going through all the thought processes and all the advice everyone's given throughout the past few weeks. So I've got a feeling I'll probably just keep it as a long video, because I don't tend to do very short videos. But other than that, I think we still need to finish off Inscription, certainly. We need an extra Oreo spend option. I'm open to ideas, certainly, Darkwing. And Mia, thank you very much for using your Prime. Very kind of you. Thank you for your support. Let's see a whole lot of emotes for you. Welcome on board. Hope you're doing well. You got a quest about Fellwort. Yes, I do need to do. That's the Legion side of things. I need to go and do that lot, certainly. That's nice. The grey Oreo. What about a section fact about me for the Oreos? That could be interesting. Kind of like a sort of like getting to know you kind of thing. Silver Brutosaur. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. What's it all used in? The Fellwort, I don't know precisely from an Inscription point of view. I haven't looked into Legion Inscription yet. I could certainly give that a look at, Derplisher, certainly. First time catching my stream. You made 1.5 million in the last month watching my videos. Congratulations. That's absolutely amazing, Ryan the Horrible. Scrapping Tie Spray whilst you watch. Well, I'm glad you've managed to make a load of gold. Thank you very much for stopping by. Or if we spend all our Oreos at once, could we get a story time? That's a good idea, Will. I was thinking of saving the next story time for... I was going to... I'm open to suggestions on this, but I was going to set up a Patreon at some point in the near future, and one of the perks for that is I was going to do a sort of monthly story time and then publish that on YouTube, and then once I've done all the chapters, then publish it publicly for everyone. Something like that. Or a full screen Oreo for X minutes option. That's a good idea actually. It'd be quite difficult to do a full screen at the moment, considering he's right behind me at the moment. The value for the Fellwort, I don't know, Miraxis. If anyone has any suggestions in chat for the pricing of Fellwort, you can mill it to make the Legion glyphs. Yeah, I think that's what. I've certainly got some advice from Wave, I think it was, to do the same with Fellwort. I haven't got into Legion Inscription yet. It's next on my list, certainly. And sold 30 bags in the last 2 hours. Fantastic, Rose. That's really good. Top tier. No problem, Proxivit. I'll basically I'm going to keep it open, and I want to make as much of my content available to as many people as possible. But I figured that would be a good one, a good way of sort of like opening it up. Certainly, Fellwort is equal to Tome of Quiet Minds. Is that instead of Time? Quiet Minds, in terms of its value. That's quite good then, in terms of things. Fellwort and Dreamy for the best of milling from what I recall. I believe that's one. For raiding, yes, I think that's what they use it for, isn't it? Yeah, I have some here actually. The Tome of the Quiet. Now, do I actually have? I need to look at this one moment. I'm not sure this is set up correctly. Tome of the Quiet. Do I have an actual crafting operation? I do have 5 of each. Yes. So let's look at where we're at with this. War scrolls we have. We don't have a crafting operation. We could probably do with one of those. So let's say 3 of each, 10% crafting profit. That could probably work. 10% crafting, 3 of each war scrolls. Yeah, that would work for me. Contracts are currently on 5 of each, no profit. I think I'd be better off now doing those with a profit. That would be easier. You start to sell many scrolls now, like 20 in one go. Okay, that's loads. Tome of the Quiet. So let's change that one to 3 of each. And War Scrolls, 3 of each. So let's have a look at that in terms of inscription. Do we have a restock of these? Okay, we do have a few. Now those will be the 5 that are no profit, so let me just take those off for a minute. I only want, now that I've skilled up, I don't really want to be selling things for no profit. So let's look at the contracts here and change that to 3 of each with a 10% profit. There we go. But this isn't going to work fully until I sort out my ink value. That's going to be my next thing I need to do. So what I need to do here is I need to use Billis's string from, let's have a look at my Miro board, where Rasheen showed me the Reddit post that went into this. I'll just have a look at this. And let me sign in here. Hold on, there we go. They use them on every pool sometimes. Oh, right, okay. So these are any of these scrolls, the war scroll of, is it just the battle shout, or is it also the fortitude and intellect that are also selling? Like you're having a hard time keeping up. Oh, right, okay. If you're wiping the speed you are, you use many in one evening. Oh, right, okay. So divide 3,000 gold, the amount of crimson inks you got from it. So not any string got anywhere near. Fort and int are selling higher on your server. Okay. You're going to set 72 gold of Fellwort at the moment. Okay. Yeah, all 3 sell fine. Right, okay, so we've got some things we can do here on inscription. This is really good. Okay, so what we need to do is, let me just move my windows over. So we have, let's have a look at our war scrolls for a moment. Let's go to setting this up. Make sure we've got this set up correctly. So war scrolls, we've only got battle shout in here. We need to add in the other 2. So let's go and get this on. Write me again about the fur. The whisper window went away. Oh, was that for someone else dressing rooms, or was that to me? If it was to me, let me know. War scroll of fortitude. Let's queue one of those up, and one of intellect. Let's do that one. So let's create those 2 whilst we have them. There we go. Was someone else asking about your garrisons? Okay, Rose, good to know. I was worried for a minute there I missed something. So we'll add these into our group here. So groups, war scrolls, and then we'll add in fortitude and intellect. We'll add those 2 in there. Oh, you're going for 150 worth. Okay. Right, so we've got that. So now if we go and do a restock of these, we should have some war scrolls to make, some Tome of the Quiet mines to make, and Highborn compendiums. Do we need to have Highborn compendiums in this list? I'm not sure we do. let me have a look at them in a bit more detail. Highborn compendium, crafts. Let's have a look. Was that? That's got a 0.2 sale rate. Mystical Bulwark. There's a whole load of different ones here. These are all trinkets that are bind when equipped. The price of herbs on my server. Yeah, they are. Are they? They're pretty expensive at the moment, aren't they? Definitely. Someone plays on a special server, PTR server, which you can make money without selling anything. It seems to be the way, definitely. It's very expensive. Yeah, I think so. From looking at things here. So let's have a look. These Highborn compendiums. These are they are BOEs. They are item level 400. So these seem like they would be worth doing from the looks of those in terms of getting a decent eye level trinket up. They're unique equipped. So I see no harm in making at least one of each of these from the looks of things. You sort of don't need to buy over 3 gold. Wow, okay. So I think we should take this Highborn one out, this Sundering one, and we should make just one each of these. It does require Expulsum, and we do have a fair amount of Expulsum, so that's a good thing. So what we need to do is we'll make one each of these and see what kind of sales we get. I think that would be the next best thing on this list. So, looking at that, Flashkit, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Server dependent, waste of time. Yeah, exactly. If they're that cheap on your server, then I can see why you wouldn't do it. Whereas Will was saying on my server, it's definitely a someone's dream of being here, certainly. I'm back to raiding for you. Okay, my sheep. Well, good to have you here nonetheless. Int casting ones are very good. So people accelerate to a new gear and current content might be increased. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So let's go through each of these. Let's change someone to everyone, please. So let's go through and look at this in terms of what I've got. I want to change this group to something else. Crafting one of each would be more useful here. So if I go onto my Highborn compendiums, I've only got the one on, and I don't think 3 of each crafting profit's going to work for me. I'm going to try less of these. I'm going to try maybe 1 of each. So what I'll do is I'll go to my operations, 3 of each crafting profit. Let's duplicate this and make this one. Let's just delete that. Whoops. Let's try that again. Delete that, and then go to the beginning and make this 1 of each, 10% crafting profit, and we'll change the restock quantity to 1. There we go. And then we'll go back to the group of the compendiums, and we'll change this operation. Instead of 3 of each, we'll change that to 1 of each. There we go. When you first got the idea of opening cards on the box accounts though, oh no, now my card add-on can't count the cards together, but then you thought 3 separate opening datas makes much more accurate. If there was changed 8.3 or not. Okay. I'm not sure whether... Oh, I guess you did need to keep account of it. But giving you the 3 separate datas, does that work for you then, Rose? Okay. Kaido, good evening to you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. We're just working through a little bit of inscription here. We're just trying to flesh out our group a little bit more here. So, we'll find out in a week. Okay, well, let's see. Let's hope it works. So, we're here. When you think you just restocked and then you have to start all over again. That's true, Bullywolf. So, we have one of these Highborn compendiums already, I believe. which one's in the group? The one of Sundering, I believe. This one. We have one on the auction house already of this. So let's make one each of the other ones. So let's queue up one of those, and Swirling Tides. One of each of those. So we need to go and get ourselves some light parchment. We'll just pick that up from the vendor over here. I imagine you'll have some here. If you don't, then a regular vendor. No, we've got some here. So let's use the regular interface and let's get two stacks of that. That should keep me going for the moment. And then we'll go over here and then we'll make these ones we can add to the groups that we need. We need more. We need more maroon ink for these. Okay, so these could be quite difficult to get hold of because of the price of Zin'anthid, perhaps, given that I don't have a lot here. So let's see, maroon ink wise, how much more maroon ink can we make? We need maroon pigment. Mass mill Zin'anthid is here, so we need to buy some Zin'anthid if we can get some for a reasonable price. Let's have a quick look. I know Awakening has some. So let's go and have a look here. Look for BFA herbs. Run a shopping scan. And let's see if we can see any Zin'anthid for a reasonable price. There is some here, 48 gold. Which is alright actually, considering my average purchase price here is 50 gold. So how much can we buy for this price? We could obviously go and pick some up ourselves. Now how much can I afford is the question. Probably not much. 100 I can't afford, so I can only afford maybe say 70. That gives me 1,000 left, so I really can't get much Zin'anthid at the moment until we've got our gold reserves going. So this could be a bit of a sort of a sink into my prices here. So we might have to do some lesser crafts to try and get some gold reserves up. So that's where we can look into sort of like the Legion inscription and things like that. Also look at the current stuff we've got as well. So there's still options. We still need to grow this inscription. We're still working on very, very limited resources at the moment. But this is all good learning at the same time. So we can mass mill 4 of those. So get ourselves some maroon pigment. That's a decent amount there. So we can make ourselves some maroon ink here. Let that run through. Right, what did I miss those? Kenny's Goblin, those trinkets aren't worth it in your opinion. Do you not think so? I'm going to give them a go on my server because you never know. I'm just going to do one of each, definitely. Crafting 1 by 1 can only be possible if you're playing the game all day. Usually craft 5 to 10 of each and just posting and reposting them then. Oh, okay. You're a fan of Mop and Wad and LFR for a quick raw gold. That is also good options, Lepsy Lenty, definitely. Are you trying to get Samadan completely self-sufficient? Why not send the resources from Samadan? This is true. I'm trying to keep it... I don't know why exactly, but I'm trying to get each character self-sufficient, and I'm trying to keep it a kind of realistic. The only thing I'm really getting from Samadan at the moment is sending some bracers over to get myself some expulsum. That's the main thing, really. You're a fan of the Wolf Farm for efficient, slow raw gold. Feels nice to show up for a couple of months, stock up a couple of months of cages. I've not done the Wolf Farm setting. Oh, looks like Orio's disappeared off. He might come back later. Almost all worth trying once. Worth to know it doesn't sell. Exactly, definitely. Don't get me wrong, it's the kind of limit you'd set yourself as well. Yeah, I think for me, I just wanted... I think with trying a new profession, I didn't want to sort of make it unrealistic in terms of, okay, well, if you did want to start out on a profession, what would work in terms of getting it started? And I wanted to keep it just kind of like I didn't want to be too reliant on my previous successes, really. It's about your profit, definitely. You sold 6 of them yesterday. Okay. Makes more realistic to get the profession to stand on their own. Yeah, especially as I've found with each of my characters having their own pool of gold now, it's quite nice to get a gauge as to how profitable any one profession is at the moment. It's like 10 gold per wolf. It's awesome. Capped on 6 work orders per day in output, so puts a nice cap on it so you don't burn yourself out. Okay, fair enough. Average about 8,500 each. Okay, so there's certainly options here. So let's have a look at what we can make. Let's make the rest of them that we've got here. So back onto TSM, we can make these. We can only make another one by the looks of things. 10 gold per second, right, okay. So if I was going to choose one to make, it would be the Sundering. The second one I would choose would be the Storms at 0.25. So let's try one of those. Ideally, I'd want to have this one as well, but I don't quite have enough Zin'anthid for that. So let's focus on the other things I can make. Tomes of the Quiet Mind, we'll do those. War Scrolls, we'll sell a few of those hopefully. And hopefully if we can get some of these sales, we can feed into the inscription. And the other things we can do in the meantime is look at what we could do potentially from a raw gold perspective. Oh, looks like Oreo's coming back. Let's pop his camera on. Are you coming back to join us, Oreo? There we go. We have an Oreo back in there. If you don't mind me asking, what is my goal now after I've already purchased the Brutosaur? So for me, it's not so much a gold amount just yet, as to what I want to do is I want to learn and get every single profession, both in terms of every single profession and every expansion for every profession. And I want to learn as much as possible about each profession so I can share that information with everyone else here. Because that way I can get a real gauge as to what markets are doing well. And I'd like to do that before Shadowlands comes out as much as I can. I probably won't get every single expansion, but I would like to get every single profession by that point. So that's my kind of main goal at the moment, really. Meanwhile, Oreo's just relaxing beside me. All the in-shop mounts are bought with gold. That could be another option, is spending the gold on that. At the moment, I'd want to at least make sure I've got my game time covered. Maybe I would look into multiple accounts. That would be something if I got enough gold for, certainly. Home now, so when it comes to old mats selling, how many times do you repost them before you give up and just try to make some cash of it whenever vendor or cheap, just to get bag or bank space? In terms of old materials, I'm a hoarder. I just keep hold of it as much as possible. Do I take time to raid or do some Mythic Plus dungeons? Very, very rarely, Arcade. I've actually, in fact, I don't think I've done any raids in BFA at all. I might have done, I think, the Battle for Dazara Law once. I think we did that on stream once. I got a vague memory of that, but other than that, no. I've not done any raids at all. Mythic Pluses, I think I tried a +6 once, back in Legion, accidentally, but that was about it. You love having 2 accounts, love having a posting account, that way you can play the game whilst you're still camping the auction house. It's definitely got its appeal, certainly having more than one. Old mats you never vendor, like ever. Transmog, though you get annoyed with reposting all the time, and vendor. That's my thoughts definitely on Transmog. The same as Will. It's because I set a maximum number of expires to about 100, and if it's gone beyond 100, then I'll just vendor it. Alright, let's post some of this lot on that we just made. Great strategy as well for Shadowlands gold making. I think so, Proxiver. The one thing I missed out on was not having every profession at the start of BFA, and I was limited to just my markets, so I would like to be able to expand into all professions, certainly, from that perspective. So let's try running a post scan of what we've got here. So Tome of the Quiet Mind, currently telling me a profit. War Scroll of Intellect, currently telling me a profit. So those are all fine. Now I haven't played with my material prices yet, so there's still something to be done there. Geed Hamster, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. You stopped selling Transmog since the new auction house came out because of the increased posting price. 600 a scroll. Is that cheap or expensive? We'll have a look, certainly. Not going to sleep for 2 weeks when Shadowlands hit. Make a ton of gold and sit back and relax and leave gold making to other people. Fair enough, Derp. That's an interesting technique, certainly. It's going to be 10 times more expensive. Is it really? Okay. Well, if I get some sales, then that will be fantastic. We'll see how it goes. We did manage to sell some War Scrolls, certainly, so that's a good start at least. In terms of getting any extra raw gold at this stage, we do have a few bracers we need to just go and get rid of in a moment. We'll do that. And then we'll have a look at probably ignoring... Oh no, we need to put these on a... those Highborn compendiums aren't on my list. Hold on. I nearly scrapped those. That would have been a bad mistake. Okay, so Highborn compendiums. We needed to add those two in. We've still got Darkmoon cars to have a look at as well. That's another... There's loads of different stuff I can look into in Inscription and test the markets out for my server. Right, let's try that one. It's 6,000. So that's a 3,000 profit, and that's a 4,000 profit. If I could sell those, that would be fantastic. We've got those going. Right, so with that done, let's have a look at the scrapper. And so that one is binds with an equipped head, scrappable, and that's vendor sell 29. Disenchant value. We could try and sell these, but to be honest, I'm not going to be bothered. I might just scrap these, to be honest. Let's scrap them all, as well as the braces and those shoulders. That should be fine, I think. I think we'll leave it as it is. There we go. And then we'll have a look at the map and the emissaries, see if there's anything we can do here. Although, with that said, my my transmutation potion should have cooled down by now, so we should probably jump over to Awakening and have a look there, see if there's anything we can do from that point of view. Just have a quick look at the map. We've got Alliance War Effort here for 2,000 gold. That could be quite handy. But let's go over and look at what else we could do first on Awakening and see if we can get ourselves some more gold that way. You got some Transmog from Vanilla a bit. Post cost of Transmog still 15 to 30 to 60% of vendor sell. As far as I know, it should be something like that, yeah. Right. Let's see if we get anything. It's continuous curing. Okay, so no luck there. No sales. Let's have a look at our potions. Just see if they're looking alright at the moment. We could try a post scan and see if we've been undercut. There's a few here we could probably just pop on at a reasonable price. Let's post those on. Might as well. There we go. And then we'll go back over to Samadan. There's another option here, actually. Thinking not just Samadan, we also have another 120, Nadamas, anti-Samadan. We have 0 profession. Well, we do have 2 professions on this character. We have herbalism and mining, but there's something we could do here. In terms of, let's just move you up into the list. We could possibly do another 2 professions here, but obviously being Horde side, it would definitely be self-contained, which is why I picked 2 gathering professions on this character. That could be an option, certainly. So Pickpocketing, how are you? We have Sleepy Oreo next to me at the moment. He's just resting at the moment. Good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's basically Samadan spelled backwards. That's as far as it goes, really. Acronym is reversed, right? It is. It's basically acronym could be the acronym could be the letters jumbled up in any order, whereas reversed is literally just reversed. So we do have options here. I've been going around doing gathering, which has kind of been nice, but I wonder if there's another couple of professions that are self-contained that we could do on this character. I don't know what I've got in terms of gold. Let's have a look. Let's just go over and check in on this character, because it's always nice to see something new. There's some new stuff to do. That's been how long it's been.
Champion, I must speak with
we have a few different things here.
Oh,
we have Valera over here. I have Valera as a figurine over on my shelf. Where am I and what am I doing? This is the trouble with being on a new character. I always forget. Just got back from a short walk. It's so warm. Wow. Okay, fantastic. A palindrome. Oh, really? That's excellent. It's an anonym. Anonym. Okay, that would make sense. Acronym anonym. I like that. Right, so where are we at on Nadamas? What could we do here? I mean, I'm completely unfamiliar with Horde territory and the storyline and everything. I've got loads of stuff I haven't done on this character. We could do stuff for some raw gold. That's an option. 4 world quest for Zeldazar. We could get our reputation up because we obviously haven't done a lot in terms of reputation. Where are we at? Friendly with Tortolan Seekers and a few other bits and pieces here. Strange Spectre, thank you very much for the follow. What else could we possibly do? I mean, in terms of professions at the moment, yeah, we're currently at 394, so that's not too bad actually. What have we done and what have we got character-wise? We have a whole load of stuff on us from various bits and pieces, some old world herbalism bits and pieces here. We got some various bits of junk, obviously. 940 gold on us. So there's a lot of stuff that would need sorting out here if we were going to do something reasonable with this. We could probably try selling some of these older herbs, bits and pieces. Obviously we can't send any of this over to Samadan or anything like that, certainly. Farm Black Tabby Cat Pet with your horde. They can kill the mobs that drop it. Oh, right, okay. 0 to hero incoming. It could be interesting, certainly. Yeah, I didn't know the name for that one, definitely. Yeah, in terms of farming, I'm not too keen on farming. I want to do something a bit more special here. We've got heirlooms here, which we don't need, obviously, now. Acronym is using initials like NHS, or combining components like Brexit. Oh, right, okay, that will make more sense, yeah. And then anonym is the reversing of a name. So that would be Tixerb if you did Brexit backward. There we go. If we don't learn about gold making, we get educated in other ways. Exactly. One way or another, we learn something. Cancel scanning game on this server is no joke. Making gold finally though, thanks to you and all the other good people. Don't know if you missed your previous message. Oh, I might have missed that one, Proxiver. But glad you're making some gold, certainly. Let me just scroll up, see if I mixed it. Oh, you've ended around 600 to keep costs down. Sells good and only Horde can farm it. Okay, that could be interesting. Something to look into perhaps. In terms of Horde versus Alliance percentage on my server, I think it's mainly Alliance, but more probably 60-40, I would say. 60-40, 60 Alliance, 40% Horde, I think, roughly. And then there's a type of anagram, reversing the word to make a new word. Yeah, that was what we were looking at earlier. None of us knew the name of it. Law Matters, thank you very much for the follow. And Zurukan also. And Zurukan and Varakai, thank you also for the follows. That's amazing, thank you. How do I make gold? Well, we're looking at this. We're looking at this from a character that is a fresh 120 Horde. And looking at what our potential options could be here to make gold. We have a whole load of stuff in our bags. Not a great deal here, 940 gold. We do have herbalism and mining. So that could be a good start. We could go around and we could do what Kuhn does and do current world content. Maybe farm some anchorweed, some Zin'anthid. Zin'anthid would certainly be useful. I don't know if I can get myself to Nazjatar. I'm really not familiar with the Horde storyline and things here at the moment. And we have a cat, yes, Oreo is with us. He is joining the stream tonight, as he does every night. In fact, let's see Oreo full screen. Full screen or screen? There we go, that's better. He's just chilling next to me. 7 kilos of fluff morn. Watch the follows dropping in. Exactly, definitely. You can read it both ways, yeah. I changed the drop though. I thought it was zone drop for Black Tabby. Oh, right, okay. There you go, Angry. He's very handsome. He is one of 2 cats we have. The other one's Cookie, but she doesn't like the blue rug, so you don't see him on there. Oko Paper, thank you very much for the follow. And Ryan the Horrible also for your follow. Although I'm sure you've been here a while already. That's a great point. Oreos for full screens. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Do Kara Trash for blacksmith plans. That's another idea. Am I still using Zygot? I have cancelled my subscription for the moment because I'm not really doing any levelling and I couldn't really justify the price of it because it was more expensive than a WoW sub, so I couldn't really justify the price of it compared to the fact that, you know, something like TSM is so much cheaper by comparison. So for now I've cancelled the subscription. If I was still levelling through content, it would be possibly useful. Oreos and cookies, all this snack time, making me grab actual cookies. Exactly. Thought that might tell you how to reach a destination. It could, in terms of things like Nazjatar, or at least doing the quests on the Horde side, that might be quite useful using Zygot for that. But yes, Azeroth Autopilot is another free option, certainly. Please help you, it makes you crazy. Is that for making the gold? Oh, I missed one there. Have a big issue. When I set your operation, the minimum price to just DB Market doesn't reflect the value you have in the tooltip for market value. Any idea? So in the tooltip, the value will be when it was last scanned. So let's have a look at this one was last scanned 20 minutes ago, and so the market value is telling me 20 silver and 63 copper. So if I were to make an operation on rough stone for DB Market, let me just do this as an example. We'll try and run through this. So we'll make a group, we'll add a new item in here, we'll call it test, and we'll add in rough stone. Where was it? There There it is, rough stone. Add that item in there. And then we'll add a default operation, an auctioning operation, I assume. Create new operation, and we'll call this one DB Market. DB Market, and then we'll go in here, and under my min price, I'll take all of this out. DB Market as my minimum price. I'll set that, keep everything else the same. So if we now go to my rough stone and hover over the tooltip, there we go, there it is. So we now have a TSM auctioning, min, normal, max prices. So the min price is 20 silver and 63 copper, which is exactly the same as the DB market value there of 20 silver and 63 copper. So to me that would say that works. How are you getting something different? Have you done anything different compared to those steps that I've just made? I would wonder. And then maybe we can help then. If that doesn't work, then maybe try the Discord and TSM support. Let me just scroll up, I missed a load of chat there. First thing, you'd pay for a faction change with gold. With gold on this character, makes more sense on this server to have all the characters together. For 0 to gold cap challenge, we'd be better to start on a brand new server. That is true, Will, actually, to be on a different server. I do like the appeal of having a brand new character on a new server. The reason I have him as Horde on this side is that my son much prefers Horde to Alliance, and he's not currently playing WoW, but if ever he does want to come back to WoW, then I've got a max level character that he and I can play with. So it's kind of like for his purposes, really. For now, you need to go to the boat and see if you have the Send Fleet quest or something similar. Okay, thank you, Mark. Seeing as my 2 cats are named Oreo and Cookie, when do we get to see an animal called Milk in the stream? That would be cool. Maybe I need to get a dog called Milk. Have I ever done battle pet flipping? I had a look at that way back in the early days when I started looking at methods for gold making. I followed Breg's initial videos, and he was going from server to server. I even went so far as to create another character on Argent Dawn called Guzma. He was my pet flipper, and he made about 6,000 gold just through transferring pets between Shadow Song and Argent Dawn. But the rate of sales didn't really appeal to me in the end. Or why? Or crumbs. That could work as well. You don't have the values the same as you did, and you did like me. Okay. I wonder if it could be... What's the difference DB market wise on your item? I wonder. What about battle pets with my son? We could do that. Although he's not really sort of done much. He likes to collect battle pets. That's true, and he likes to collect mounts as well. But he's certainly not a hardcore collector either. Yeah, I was just thinking out loud, Fade Kane. I was trying to think about what it was you actually had that has a different one. I'm thinking either it could be something to do with maybe the auction house data on your server not being synced up, or something else in the operation throwing it. What was the actual item itself that you're looking at? Maybe my rough stone example doesn't quite hold true or something like that. But it doesn't seem to make sense that it shouldn't be the same. Certainly. So in terms of what I could do on this character, I'm not really sure. I mean, I've got almost too many options here. I could get some raw gold, certainly, but we could really do that on Samadan. We could do farming of stuff, but again, I could probably do that on Samadan much better. So I think it's probably worth just leaving this character for the moment. I would rather probably go back to Samadan and work on some world quests there. So I'll do that. And we'll think of things we could possibly do. Actually, let's go over to a rested area. Things we could possibly do on Nadamas at a later date, certainly. So there we go. Let's just jump off here and just log out here. You're looking on green stuff for Transmog. Could be if the ignore variation option on your group setting. Ah, yes. It's most likely that because the DB market value for each individual one is going to be different. That could very much be the thing, Fadekine. I think you've hit the nail on the head there with that one. The market value for each individual variation will be different. Peanut, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Run the old raids for battle pets. Go get some ickies, and you'll have a ton of fun. Yeah, actually, isn't Icky the one you get through the ward quest line? You can do for each character, I think. So what's the best option to do? To use this option or not? When I'm selling stuff, if we go over to, let me have a look. Let me jump over to Earthen, who has the Uncanny gear. We'll just have a quick look at this, because I sell the Uncanny gear at. Now I use crafting as part of my selling operation when it comes to. When it comes to Transmog, actually thinking about it, if you think about Transmog, people wanting to collect it, they are not worrying about the variations. So what I end up doing is I don't use DB market, I use DB region market average for my Transmog, and I kind of look at that as an overall average. It'll just take I believe it'll just take the lowest one. Yeah, you need to ignore the variation because you basically, people are only wanting it for the looks of it. They're not wanting it for the individual stats. How do you get battle pets to change price depending on their level? I think, isn't that integrated into part of TSM anyway? I think. Most pet traders only deal in level 1 or 25. That would make sense. Yeah, definitely. Icky is very good for pet world quests. Yeah, I have an Icky myself. For my team, I use a... Where is it? I use Bone Shard, Icky, and Creminius as my team, but mainly it's Bone Shard and Icky as the two that get me most of my Mechagon and Najatar quest lines done. Still need to get that revive coming through. Can't quite do that yet. Where do you get Icky? Ickies are easy to get. Isn't it the ward quest, I believe? If we went to Draenor, Spies of Arak, isn't it down here somewhere? Isn't there a quest that takes you there that you get an Icky for free for each character or something like that? Have I got that right? Yeah, it is as I said. Okay. My name is Lil Flocker. You then need to make them rare too. Oh yes, you got the option there in the pets, don't you? Because let me have a look. I can't tell if this one's rare or not. Yes, it is. It's rare. And then I've got the two things it needs is Black Claw and Flock. Those are the two that make it work really well. I don't know what them being rare makes a difference. Yeah, the stones to make them rare are pretty easy. I think that's what I must have done with this one, or I might have bought this one. I can't remember. Can't remember where I got this actual one from. I can't remember at all. The rare just means more hit points. Oh, okay, that's good to know. You have 38 alts in garrison, so if you get 28 ickies, you could make some nice cash. Yes, most definitely, Rose. That's a good option for you, certainly. Just go through the quest line. I can't remember the exact quest line and how much you have to do to get up to that point, but that's definitely an option, definitely. Right, okay, so let's jump. We're jumping all over the place here, but this is good. We're all learning something, which is really nice. So whilst we're doing that, I think for this last bit, what I'll do is I'll go over and do a quick, well, I say quick, we'll do some world quests on Samadan to try and get his gold reserves back up. We're at 2,000 gold. Let's see if we can make that 4,000 gold. So we're currently, where are we at the moment? They're actually 1,000 gold, or even less than that. So let's go on over. We need some reputation, which will be handy. So Alliance War Effort will help over here. So we could go basically do anything over on this side. We could possibly even get some gear upgrades. Looking at this, let's have a look at Zandalar. Anything quite good in gear upgrades? We've got legs for 420, and we've already got some legs at that level. Chest wise, we've currently got a 420 chest. Hands, we've already got some good hands, so there's no real big gear upgrades here. So the main thing really, they've got some good gold amounts in all of these. Maybe there's some single things we can kill here. So let's go over here to Nazmir, I think. That'll be a good option. So let's head on over there. Dario, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Some famous pet battle streamer gives you an Icky 25 rare. And you used it for getting a rep for flying. Yeah, definitely. Definitely worth doing. I think that's what I used mine for. So let's do Nazmir, I believe. We should do this. And Farnsworth, thank you very much for the follow. Take a level 1, anyone selling an Icky for 1 to 2,000 gold. It's a good buy, and you flip for 40k. Yeah, that's definitely worth doing. That would get you a long boy in a month or two of flipping Ickies alone. Yeah, if you can get those sales, that is definitely worth doing. It's a question of whether you can get the sales, isn't it? So, looking at quests here, I can't remember if the shell game counts as the Alliance War Effort. It says complete 4 world quests in any zone, so I'm guessing it will be. Let's start off with that one. And it'll also give us reputation with Totolan Seekers, which is also going to be useful. We could have a look at maybe a contract here as well. And we could look at doing some herbalism as we fly, if there's anything easy on the route. This is fairly heavily occupied, so I'll just skip past this for the moment. Let's have a look. Shell game, there's some star moss, we'll pick that up. We've got slow herb gathering on at the moment. We'll just swap that over. Let's do this. I do like the shell game, it's quite good fun. So we got that. Got that. That was easy. And one of those we should see come through quite quickly anyway. There we are. And that one's easy enough to do. Can't remember, I don't think I've seen any of those. That one I have seen though. It's over there. Do that one. And then that one, I think it's going to be this one, because I saw it poking out the side. That was a slight cheat, that one. But that one we do know. And then we can do this one, which is over here, and that leaves us the last two, which is fairly easy to do. There we go. Too bad Pete is busy in IRL and not streaming. Yeah, Pete was great. I think he gave me a whole load of pets as well to help me as well. Shell game's the best. So did that help with our war effort. It did, actually. That's brilliant. Okay, so let's go over this way, and we can add this one in. There's some herbs over here whilst we're here. But let's swap over our gloves, though, because we're currently on crafting, and we need to go on herbalism ones. So let's swap over to those ones. They're only 380, but it will mean we can do our herbalism much quicker. And then we can head on over here and carry on with this one. Pet's a pretty slow moving market, sadly, but Icky's a bit different because people want him for the rep farming, even though you wouldn't guess he'd move that quickly. But now most people have their reps. This is true, but you never know. You hate the calligraphy one. Yeah, that is a tricky one for sure, definitely. That bugs all the time for you. Is that the calligraphy one? Yeah. Yeah, I think the World Quest helper does a good job in something's in a cave down here. There it is. Quick. Oh, we just missed it, unfortunately. We weren't quite quick enough. We'll have to wait for this to come through. Wait for a respawn. That shouldn't take us too long, hopefully. Maybe there's something outside we can wait for. Whilst we're looking, I can't see anything here at the moment. Let's just help with this, perhaps. There we go, and we can wait in here. That'll be easier. There we go, okay. Icky will start selling for Shadowlands. Do you think so? Is that because people use it in World Quests for Shadowlands, assuming they need reputation? It could be a good call, whether Icky is still useful as a pet. I mean, it does seem to be pretty good. Here we go. That didn't take too long at all. We need to get in and fighting, otherwise they'll die before we get a chance to press any buttons. There we go, that's better. There we go, that one's done. That's 2 done. This should be fairly quick, really, as long as we pick the right quests. That one's a single person as well, so we'll go over and do that one. Anything where it's just killing one person is really, really handy. It's the most OP pet is the Unborn Valkyr. Oh, okay. Having 6,000 monolite and 4,000 storm silver, would it be better idea to sell the raw ore and invest some money into other gold making opportunities, or would it be better go for expulsum by creating scrapping arm guards? I would, if you've got options, I would always try and spread it across several things. So try selling some of the raw material, and then look at what you can do that's the most maximum profit for you.
Be careful. There's a threat nearby.
We'll just miss this one.
Strike it down before it can escape.
We'll just wait here. Okay, that should work. Although Blizz has announced they're going to nerf Icky and others. Oh, okay. I'm not too familiar with the whole pet meta, as it were. It's only something I've very briefly gotten into. I've been playing more Pokemon Go than World of Warcraft pets at the moment. Would also farm Iron Starlet now, push the price up. That's another one, isn't it? Certainly. And yes, as Will said, Proxiva, crafting some uncanny weapons could do you some good as well. So that would spread it across several options. Look at what's the most. Look at your blacksmithing list. What's got a good sale rate, and what's got a good profit margin on it as well. A raid successful, down Vexonia on heroic. Oh, congratulations, Mushy. Fantastic. Well done. And let's do this one. So this is all giving us single amounts of gold, as well as giving us 2,000 gold at the end. So this should be quite a nice way of just finishing up and doubling, over doubling our gold reserves. And then we can use that gold reserves to funnel into more inscription and see if we can get ourselves a bit more fleshed out on the inscription side of things. So one works into the other, and then at a later date I still need to look into my pricing structure. There you are. There you go, this one looks a slightly more difficult boss. Do we need to be in a group for this? I think we do. Oh no, we should be alright actually. Shouldn't be standing on the grey stuff though, I don't think. Oh, or pressing that button. That doesn't work either. I'm pressing 3 trying to move forward. That doesn't work at all. There we go. Now we're back in business. My hands are on the right button. Staying out of the swirly stuff. Press those buttons, hope for the best. Shoot things, press buttons, move back a little bit. Oh, I actually managed it. Fantastic. There we go, that's done. Okay, so that should be all of them done. Yeah, Alliance War effort done very quickly. Indeed. So we should probably Hearthstone back out of that. That should be easier. Good idea. You have 5 each on the auction house. However, could always make some more. You have tools of the trade, so you can get the indestructible chance on some. Oh, okay. I've forgotten about the blacksmithing tools of the trade. Safiosa, they are nerfing Black Claw and Shattered Defences combo. Ah, right. Icky's nerfed with the... is nerfed or will be nerfed with hit points alone? It's supposed to be nerfed 8.3, but they didn't nerf him. Okay. You get about 3k of raw gold from 10 runs of normal Sky Reach. Okay, that's... How long does it take you to do Sky Reach? Or how long does it take you to do 10 runs of Sky Reach? Would be the main question there. That was a really quick one. Let's go hand that in. Alliance War effort. And we'll pick that up. About 30 minutes. Okay. That's not too bad. So Alliance War effort. Complete that. And we get some reputation, which is also useful. There we go. Okay, so we are now sat at 3,500 gold, which is much better. We could possibly buy ourselves some more Zin'anthid and get ourselves into a position to get that last Highborn crafted. Let's have a look at the price of that at the moment. 130,000 cards opened. Total value 633,000 gold. Wow. Average going down 7 silver per card since last week, to an average of 498. Very nice, Rose. That's a lot of cards. That's an awful lot of cards. Alright, so shopping wise, let's have a look at Zin'anthid, see if there's anything that's still at a reasonable price. It's still at 48.99, so that's okay. We can get something here for maroon ink. So 48.99, there's 221. If I was to buy that, that would cost me 10,000 gold, which we can't afford. So let's try. Now, what was the mass mill? Was it in 20s? I think let's try 60. That should be enough for a little while. That leaves us with 500 gold. Let's just jump over here to the mailbox. And then we can go over here, we can buy that. And then we can get ourselves some more maroon ink, which is going to be handy. And so we need to do mass milling Zin'anthid. We'll craft that, 3 lots of that. And then we can make, from there, we can make our maroon ink. Craft all on that. We need to go over to our crafting gloves now, though, actually. Let's go back to those and go to those, and then we'll do our milling again. Let's go to the standard interface for that. That should be easier. There we go. Really funny to watch doing Mythics opening cards at the same time. People are begging for some heals. She goes opening the cards. Yeah, I can imagine, Mecca. There's Crab and Nagitar that has a Black Claw 2 that's better than Icky. Oh, really? But it's bind on pickup. Ah, right. Zin'anthid is expensive on my server. All herbs are expensive on my server, as in most gathered materials seem to be very expensive on my server, certainly. But on the flip side of that, a lot of the various profession items are also very expensive, so the profit margins are still good, thankfully. They were perfectly helpful. Exactly. There we go. It all works out in the end. So let's go over and make this last one, the Mystical Ball Walk. With that, we can add that into our list. So we've got at least one of each of those on our list. And then if they sell, we'll make another one. And if it doesn't, we'll leave it at that. At least we've tested the market out with each of these. It's a good start anyway. So let's go post that one on. Ciscody, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well. So we'll go here and we'll run a post scan of that lot. So we've got that, and Contract Storm's Wake is also going on there, undercutting competition. So hopefully we might get some sales out of some of this lot. There's at least a start. We've got a few contracts that probably won't sell, simply because I don't think they are in that much of a demand for the ones I've got. I haven't got the higher ones. I need to get the Nagitar and the Mechagon ones. Highborn relics, we're trying one of each. We might get some sales on those. And then War Scrolls could potentially be good. We've got quite a nice 600 gold, so there's good profit margins on those at the moment. So if we can get some sales of War Scrolls, that would be useful. Sergeant Leatherneck, thank you very much for the follow, and Rainy Days, and Mysteria, thank you for using your sub. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your support. Very much appreciated. Let's see lots of emotes for you. Thank you, Mysteria. Very kind of you. Another good pet cell is Crominius. Yeah, I'm using that one in my lineup actually. Quite a good tanky one, definitely. I'm your fan as a gold maker. Just curious, do I play things like Mythic Plus and Raid and other stuff? We were talking about this earlier. No, I don't actually. It would be something I'd love to try a bit more. We've done a few viewer dungeon runs, not in the realm of Mythic Plus, but it's certainly something I would consider doing a bit more. Certainly. Sergeant Leatherneck, thank you very much for using your Prime. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you indeed. Off the topic question, ever thought of creating a dropshipping affiliate marketing YouTube series in the same vein as this gold making series? It would be incredibly interesting to watch, especially with my amazing analytical mind. Dropshipping, I've never heard of that before. Marketing YouTube series in the same vein as gold making. I'd have to look up what dropshipping is, but affiliate marketing, I guess that would be just you mean it's just like from a general YouTube marketing point of view? I mean, I'm always interested in looking at different things. But yeah, I hadn't thought of it. It's selling without inventory. Oh, right, okay. So what are you actually selling if you don't have anything to sell? Or are you just selling the idea of something? I think, maybe. Blingtron's another good flip for 1 to 25. You make 40,000 on leveling them up to 25. Yeah, you can get that with quite a few ones, definitely. You sell through a retailer, through your own web shop. Okay, so you're basically just driving traffic through it. Interesting concept. I'd have to look into it more to know anything more about it and comment on it further. But I'm always happy to look at new things, certainly. Right, I think I'm going to probably finish up there. My time is running out, and I think we got into a good place with all of the inscription for the moment. Oh, right, okay. I'm always terrible at making gold in real life. That's the strangest thing, though. I can do it in regular world, in WoW, but not in regular world. But yes, I want to say a big, massive thank you to everyone who's hung out in chat tonight. It's been really lovely. I'm going to finish up here because it's getting late and I have work tomorrow. So, is Persephone doing cooking again? Oh, excellent. We'll have to maybe throw her over a raid then, if she's over. Let's have a look. She is doing chicken wings, it looks like, and pizza and ice cream. Even better. I think we should definitely send a raid over to Persephone then. So let's have a set of that, and let's get this set up. Slash raid. I need to make sure I spell it correctly. Right, okay, thank you everyone. Absolutely amazing stream. Thank you all for your lovely support and kindness. And I will see you next week, where we'll do another Wowhead vlog. The Bickle, thank you very much for the follow. And Square Pug, thank you also for the follows. Very kind of you. From myself and the lovely Oreo, we wish you the greatest of weeks. And we're going to send a raid over to Persephone and send her some love. She is a gold maker and cooker extraordinaire. So she's currently doing the cooking. So good night, one and all. Have a lovely week, and we'll see you very soon.